tariffs, he said he was going to do that. Cutting government spending, he said he was going to do that. I mean, I think the only thing that he did that he said he wasn't going to do was how he's handling wars abroad. Other than that, he's been doing every single thing that Trump voters kind of expect.
Hey, Jerry, he's hiring, I think. If you can go to the White House and put your application in, it sounds like you're a good quality person to be on his administration.
That's a telling the truth.
That personal attack. Oh my God, Normal. Please don't report me to Clubhouse as a personal attack. I said there's a job opportunity in the White House. That's a personal attack. Is it anti-Semitic too? Is it anti-Semitic, Norm?
You sound a little afraid. I have a whole
yeah, I told him that they're hiring at the White House.
Yeah, brother, it's not gonna work. I think I heard it.
Oh, that.
So y'all finna crash out?
That's normal. I'm just talking to Normal's crazy, but that's a personal attack. I feel you violated my rights. Did I violate your rights, Normal?
Why don't you read instead of making your personal attacks and you?
There you go. Oh, I'm not educated. That's a nice one. Oh, I'm not educated like you, right, Normal? You didn't miss me with that, bro. I would never trade my cards to be you, ever, in life, bro. I would never trade my life to be you, bro. You keep on doing you. I would never reduce myself down to try to be you, ever. You keep doing you, though. You got an agenda, follow you.
Why would you want to be me?
I don't want to be you, bro. So, keep reading whatever the hell you read, bro. You don't run me.
Well, put a one in the chat if we should get back to the actual bill. While I was breaking down the details. Put it to me in the chat if y'all want to crash out. These people haven't read the bill, so they want to deflect and talk about shit they got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool.
Check them.
All right, so there was this thing called Agenda 48 that Trump ran on. Hold on. Agenda 48, which is Trump's presidential campaign manifesto, basically, right? So there is some similarities between the Agenda 48 and details of the Big Beautiful Bill, right? So Agenda 47, my bad. Agenda 47, he campaigned about, he talked about pro-growth, because we had a room on it. It was live in here. So he's breaking down Agenda 47. He's pro-growth tax relief, cuts, tips, overtime, reduction of SALT incentives. In the Big Beautiful Bill, they talks about extending 2017 tax cuts, adding new reductions and SALT cap entry. So what he said in Agenda 47 is similar to what he's saying in the Big Beautiful Bill.
Hey, can you compare it to Project 2025 as well? Can you research it?
No, he didn't run on. He never.
He didn't know anything about 2025, but just see the coincidence of how they overlap.
Finish, bro, because we arguing about nothing.
I'm just bad.
I'm talking about Agenda 47. I'm talking about Project 2025.
Okay.
We know for a fact that he ran on his website. He mentioned Agenda 47 and he broke it down in details. I never heard him say that he's pro Project 2025 or Project 30, whatever it is.
2025, yeah, he did never say that. You're right.
Okay, so let's stick on what he said and not with some conspiracies. All right. So the Agenda 47 talks about reinforcing U.S. energy dominance, right? Fossil fuel production and all of that, right? Deregulations and all that. So if you look at the Big Beautiful Bill, because I've been reading this since we've been talking, he talks about bill rollbacks, green energy credits, killing the methane tax, and easing fossil energy production. All right. He also mentioned in the Agenda 47 the strong borders and immigration control, cartel crackdown. So they're spending in the Big Beautiful Bill 70 to 150 billion dollars for border barriers, ICBP expansion with targets of 1 million people deported. So this is on par on what Trump was saying in his Agenda 47. And he's also talked about, so when y'all saying that he never mentioned this, he actually did mention this. It was Agenda 47. Then he also talked about rebuilding U.S. military. So he said he's going to make a massive, this is Agenda 47, and he's going to spend $150 billion to boost defense spending, including drones and missile funding. So this is all correlated to what Trump was saying initially. So it's not no surprise. So Elon Musk should see this and be like, yo, well, he did say this prior. So Like, what the fuck is going on?
What do you think Elon Musk is saying now? Why is he upset with this big, beautiful bill since he knew him?
I'm not his lawyer. I don't know you.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering if you had any insight on that.
Maybe this is why he said he didn't know all about it. This is why people voted for Trump. That's all.
Sweet.
Trump literally said this, bro. So Sweet said that he never said this stuff till now, and now
I said, oh, listen closely. Project 2025. He said he didn't know about that, bro.
No,
You want me to pull up some data on that for you? That's not what I said, bro. Go pull back the replay and listen to it again. He said that he didn't have any connection, didn't know what the hell Project 2025 was all about.
What does that got to do with the big?
It got to do with what Normal said about how people voted for him, and he acting like he didn't know nothing about something that now parallels. That's what it has to do with. I know that's
You're kind of dancing.
a deeper level of comprehension. I get it. I understand. It takes a little more thought to understand what you've been told and what actually happened.
You said the voters weren't expecting this.
Bro,
That's what you started.
I said what people were told and now what they got are different. You argue against that the rest of your life, bro.
What are you saying?
You argue against. You tell the Republicans, tell all the Republicans in the Senate that what you saying.
Okay, so this is why I'm confused. Sweet. This is why I'm not confused about you dancing because I'm expecting this. I'm confused on you know that us saying that Trump is doing what he says he said he was gonna do, that doesn't make what he's doing right because you're acting like
hey, bro, don't change the bar. I didn't even got to that part yet.
Wait, I'm
talking about what Normal said.
Because we
see now you're moving the bar, bro. Stay focused on one topic. Normal was talking about isn't this what everybody? No, miss me with the lie, bro. You're trying to direct it into something else, bro.
Slow down.
All right, before Normal even spoke, everybody there, you said that people didn't sign up for this big beautiful bill. Trump never, Normal was not talking when you said that. Now you argue something.
Normal asked the question.
That was after. We're talking about.
I'm talking about the question Normal asked, bro. So what are you trying to move the bar for?
We're talking about before. You mentioned that people didn't sign up for the big beautiful bill.
I did not, bro. I was talking to Normal, man. All this came after Normal's comment, asking this question, bro, about isn't this what everybody signed up for? Isn't this what everybody wanted? That's what Normal said. Don't change it up, man, and try to twist it around in some other junk. My 2 cents is everybody put your own 2 cents. As Americans, luckily, we still can put in our 2 cents and our thoughts and our opinions. Believe it or not, you can speak your mind still about what the hell you watching go down. You don't have to be intimidated by, oh, it's a personal attack, and oh, you don't have to be intimidated by that. You can speak your mind and say, no. A lot of folks are saying, 47% are saying this Medicaid thing and all that. Hell no, they want to see increases to that. Pull up those statistics and then argue that everybody wants to see this big, beautiful bill go down. Elon and everybody else, this is what they voted for. And they wanted up there, all these cuts with Doge, and they wanted all of that. Go ahead and argue that if you want to. It's just not, you're not going to sell me on it. That's all. And you're entitled to your opinions. Again, still in America, we still, luckily that part is still intact. But look.
What did he promise? And what is he delivering?
Why are we going back out? We can just let the moment pass. It doesn't really matter what the facts are, and everyone like you can disagree with Trump's policy and still understand that he won the popular vote. And a lot of the things that he's doing now are the things that he said he was going to do before he got in office. So like I don't see why just acknowledging that Trump said he was going to deport people. Trump said he was going to raise tariffs. Trump said that he was going to try to cut government spending. You know, he didn't say he was going to support Israel the way. Actually, he did say he was. Oh shit.
Of course, he was going to support Israel.
Oh shit, he did say he was going to support. He did say he was going to support Israel no matter what. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he's going to end the war, and was it on day 1 or day 2 that he was going to stop the war with Russia and Putin? And he's not going to any foreign wars, and not going to bomb. Definitely didn't run on. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to go bomb his nuclear sites over here in Iran. On behalf of Israel. He definitely didn't run on that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
To be honest, that's really the only thing that's the only thing that
sure. I was just entertaining Normal's.
Other than all the domestic policy has been completely predictable.
Wait. Are we done talking about the SNAP part and Medicaid? And we can move on to other sections of the big beautiful bill.
I can move on.
Do anybody got any more questions? Because I thought I went over it as far as the big bill thing, as far as the Medicaid and
You asking me?
qualifications.
The part I didn't, please look, the part that they took out, which was good, was the 10-year moratorium on AI.
Yeah, we just gonna get to that next week because we just gonna get to the. We just want to make sure everybody are we done with the because.
And the clean energy.
We just went over the first part. The first part of the bill we broke down was the health and welfare cut. So we broke down the details, the qualifications, who qualifies, what people need to do. Now we're gonna transition to AI and regulation.
Clean energy part is very important.
Yeah, but let's get to that. Let's start with AI. So the AI part, we can break this down in detail. Just an overview. There will be a 10-year ban on state-level AI regulations, including the RAIN Act to limit federal regulations. So for people that don't know what the RAIN Act is, it's a conservative-backed law that will allow limited power of federal agencies by requiring Congress to approve any major new regulations before it can take effect, right? So just some key points in the RAIN Act. It applies to regulations with an economic impact of $100 million or more. It gives Congress veto power over big rule issues by agencies like the EPA, FDA, IRS, and it aims to rein in the administrative state and shift power back to the elected lawmakers. So if you look at the AI, it includes the RAIN Act to limit federal regulations. It creates this is going to be raised debt ceiling by $5 trillion, and there will be a CBO project of $3.9 trillion increase in deficit over 10 years. But yeah, so what do you agree with, Catalyst, about the AI portion of the bill?
It says the Senate strikes down the AI regulation ban from the problems. So many problems with this AI piece. Large language models are entities who make large language models, which are a core of how artificial intelligence works for language, speech, and whatnot. It compiles typically public information data that's out on the World Wide Web. Zuckerberg and over at AI, OpenAI guy, they've been pushing to have access to private information, which destroys the Copyright Office, because ideas that are copywritten, or patents and not trademarks, but really ideas that are copywritten, are owned by a person or a company, of which to access that copyright you have to pay a fee. These people have been trying to push to get rid of that so they can access and build their models on private information. It's a horrible thing for anyone that's interested in IP ownership or rights ownership. And then also, this deal, immediately, if it hasn't, it's only passed 51 to 50 in the Senate with lots of concessions. It has to now go back to the House to figure out, all right, what are they going to agree, not disagree with before it goes to the House again. But if it passes in its current state, this triggers a multi-billion-dollar payout for Mark Zuckerberg right when it's signed, because of the way it's written. So yeah, the fact that the Senate struck down the AI regulation ban, I think that's a good thing, to not have companies untethered to raid copyrights and IP. Intellectual property, when I say IP, not internet protocol.
Anybody got, wait, matter of fact, let me get Duran in here. We can get this side of it. Do anybody got any questions about this AI in the big beautiful bill, the AI regulation component? Hello?
I'm sorry, Lou. I just got here. What is it? How is it regulated? I'm just curious. If you could give me a quick little something.
All right. So the House includes a 10-year federal ban preventing any state or local government from regulating AI systems. So that includes existing or future laws in order to preempt a patchwork of regulations. So basically, and then also some exemptions were allowed, but otherwise, wait, hold on, matter of fact. Okay, yeah. So it was a Senate critique pushback. It was a dude named Bob Marshall. He warned it would strip states of powers to address AI harms like deep fakes and biases and shit. It also, like, the major tech firms like OpenAI and Google supported the federal presumption to avoid fragmented regulation. So, what else is talking about it? Oh yeah, let me read this part. It says a compromised version still prevented states from regulating AI for 5 years, carved out for areas like child safety and likeliness protections and tied compliance to federal broadbanding funding. So the Senate overwhelmingly rejected the moratorium, 9-1 vote. What else happened? Anybody else know any more details about this bill?
It was pushed. That provision has been pushed by Google, Alphabet, OpenAI, Meta, because again, they do not want to be. Silicon Valley large companies are saying we don't want the state, the government, to box us from our ability to have free innovation. But on the other side, for citizens who have intellectual property that's locked up by with copyright laws, if it goes through, it destroys the Copyright Office. Meaning, let me make it very simple. For those who are in music, if you write music and you copyright it, every single time someone uses your music, they have to pay a fee to use your music. You have to negotiate a rate to pay the fee. This destroys that. This is saying Meta and Alphabet and OpenAI can build whatever they want on top of your music under the guise of innovation and not have to pay a fee to the rights holders. That's why this is problematic.
It's more of a compliance issue. So what the tech companies didn't want is 50 states making 50 different sets of regulations, and then when you deploy your AI model, you got to make sure that you comply with every state. So they wanted it easy. They said, hey, give us 10 years so we can develop these models. We can deploy them under one guideline, one set of regulations. Then after 10 years, states can decide what they like and don't like about the model. If you're like doing any tech development, if you got 50 people giving you 50 sets of requirements, it's kind of hard to develop a tech to satisfy all of those requirements. So it's more like they don't want to spend a bunch of money trying to comply with every state releasing their mishmash of what they think AI should be and how they should contain it. They just wanted the right to be able to develop freely.
Yeah, but the problem is they're raiding the Copyright Office without having to pay the toll road under the guise of saying we want to be innovation and we don't want all these rights. There's already rights. Copyright Act. There's already rights. There's already a toll bridge called the Copyright Office. And rights holders, people who create intellectual property, they own those rights when they file a patent, a trademark, or a copyright. The way Meta, Alphabet, and OpenAI has been wanting is to get rid of that. We want to race past the Copyright Office and have access to the intellectual property to build our models that we can do what we want to do without any payment or fee. And they're saying, oh, well, it's all these different rights you got to go through. No, there's already a right. It's the Copyright Office. You cannot violate a copyright unless you pay for it.
What is copyright federal and state law? I think it's still federal. They're asking for relief from states. They're not asking. They're asking for relief from the state laws, the individual state laws. So I don't know how they bypass copyright if they're still compliant with the federal laws. They're just asking, hey, I don't want to comply with all these different state laws that that may be enacted, but they still have to comply with federal laws. I don't know how they bypass that unless Senate, passes a bill.
That's what this is. If you write this, you have probably, Scott. I'm just going to use music because I'm in tag. If you write music and you file it with the federal and Meta, OpenAI, or some game developer, the next version of Grand Theft Auto, whatever, says we want to grab that music in our AI to ingest it into our large language model that pushes it out for music when a person hits this part in the game. And now an individual says, hey, I want to sue for copyright infringement because I didn't get paid and I'm in California. And they file it in California. Well, this bill that's trying to make its way through, Google, OpenAI, or any other software company can say, hey, we are doing innovation over here. We have our hands free, and we don't have to pay the toll road because it's part of our innovation play. That's what's going on.
And to your point, Catalyst, that we already see inklings of that happening in the music industry at this current day.
But can I say this? I hope, because it kind of sounded like somebody was comfortable with with lawmakers in every 50 state not enforcing what we voted them in to do, especially when it comes down to the state. And it's heavily problematic that anybody that deals with AI has to bypass with the state officials who were voted in. But no, we cannot finish eating. I'm not y'all. Okay, this is Clubhouse. You're not in some meeting. Y'all not paying me to work anything. So if you leave quietly and come back, get the fuck out of here. Y'all pretend like Clubhouse is a professional place. Y'all bang on here. Y'all be fucking people now, all those other things. But out of nowhere, eating is the problem. Wrong issue. But to double back, I think it's weird that we're comfortable with bypassing, local officials and their regulations specifically to something that's that could be dangerous to the average person, and that can impact states a little bit differently. We know that AI can influence elections. We know that AI can influence a lot of other things. I mean, there's lawsuits that ended up happening when a kid ended up killing themselves because of AI. So I'm just confused on how that works. I'm just lost.
And plus, the Republicans, they always talk about state rights, and now they're trying to take away the rights.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
That's happening in California, and specifically in Los Angeles, California, when this administration federalized the National Guard under the guise of protest in the city of Los Angeles. And now it's still going on, and there are no protests going on here. I'm in Los Angeles. There's that's not happening. And the military's here sitting around at the federal building in downtown Los Angeles and in Westwood, and they're sleeping on the floors at nighttime inside federal buildings, just chilling, the Marines. And this administration has now pushed the National Guard to buttress ICE to go out into other areas that have nothing to do with protests, to go after Spanish-looking individuals under the guise of immigration. It'll be interesting when they start going after every single Chinatown across the United States.
As they should, period.
As well as all the Europeans that are here illegally in Boston, in New York, in large cities. It'll be interesting when they get on that path and seeing how countries start pushing back. Like, wait a minute. The largest, in 2023, the largest immigrant coming up the southern border from Mexico into the United States were Chinese, not Spanish. So let's go to every Chinatown in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, in Atlanta. I don't know. Does Atlanta have a Chinatown? I don't know.
But can I ask you a question? Who said they're not deporting Asians?
I do not see
just because we don't see
actively being pushed out and raiding Chinatowns in New York, in Chicago.
They're not raiding Latin towns either.
Actually, they
Oh, you think LA is a Latin town? Got it. That's the crazy thing.
Not a Latin town. They're going to different communities where people are and jacking people just for being Spanish.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's not happening. If you're
Well, don't think that China itself did not respond to what was going on in L.A. because it did have a downtown L.A. You know anything about downtown L.A.? You know where all that was going on? Chinatown was definitely affected by all that you saw
in New York.
over the time. And don't think for a second that China didn't recognize that, like brother's saying, Callis is saying, that their citizens could catch some of this ire from the mindset of someone like Trump and his administration, especially with China and the tariffs and Trump's ego and China definitely said, we'll basically in a nutshell, we're gonna protect our citizens over there in America for sure. They put it out there like, hey, no problem. Because it's like when you're playing on this chess level that Trump plays on and Elon play on and the world plays on, those are pawns in the game. Those American citizens that call themselves Chinese in Chinatown and whatnot, they are pawns in this game. So China's watching all of that, I'm sure.
But I do have a question, because the majority of these calls are probably coming in from people. If y'all are Americans, like you say you are, and somebody who's not even in your racial group is breaking law, why you're not calling? Can y'all let me know where these towns are so I can make the phone call and give our money, please and thank you? Send it to my back channel. But back to the AI, because I think that, a lot of you guys made a great point about the AI functions, but for me personally, I can't stand that a lot of these AI companies, financially back Donald Trump, and here you see now that this is a response. And I think that instead of trying to focus on the regulations, we should kind of force our lawmakers to create legislation where big companies cannot support political campaigns, period, financially at all. There's no reason why an Elon Musk should have donated fucking anything. There's no reason why Mark Zuckerberg needed to show up at an inauguration. Who the fuck is he? Okay? So I'm like, who the fuck are these people to come there and just sit there and clap like seals? I'm crazy. This is not a wedding. This is a political move. So, I was just confused too. So I think that that's where we need to go when it comes down to these conversations. Like CEOs over a certain amount of companies cannot donate to political campaigns, period. That's how we win here.
I think it happened when that was a Citizens United decision from the Supreme Court saying that corporations are people.
Yeah,
and that's when corporations all of a sudden could donate these large sums of money. They need to pass legislation. Yeah, I agree with you.
In this bill, also, the Republicans want to increase the amount of money that can go towards financing
You
campaigns.
see, I knew it. That got shit to do with.
Yeah, this bill is a boondoggle. It is since Ronald Reagan in the 80s. It is every single thing that certain power brokers have wanted to put in a big bill, like a soup, a gumbo, and they've never been able to do it, and they couldn't stand individually on their own. That's why the Senate parliamentarian went through and said, according to the Byrd Act, if this does not relate directly to what the financing piece of this is talking about, it's not admissible in this bill. But they just threw a bunch of stuff in there. Just let's throw it in there. It's a wish these GOP individuals have been wanting since Reagan.
They're trying to throw this. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Sora on the bottom. Thanks for bringing me up. I hear people talking a lot about, coming in the right way, and, that's another rabbit hole you can go down. But I recently heard that, there's a loophole in the immigration where you've got a lot of, South Asians, Indians, that are buying up, Super 8s and motels, and you see them operating those, because if you come in and you invest, I don't know, $2 million or something, or you buy a business, you automatically, I don't know if it's automatic, but that is another way people are using for path to citizenship.
You mean a business visa? Of course.
You're talking about EB-5.
Yeah, absolutely, that's a fact.
Yeah, they're, because I think I heard.
It's not a loophole. It's been in the law for years.
Yeah, and it's not a problem.
No, No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, an immigration attorney, there's a whole like cottage industry of that, and like they help these clients come in, and you come in and because I was wondering, because you see like Super 8s, you see them operated a lot by like these South Asians, which I'm not like nothing against them, but I'm just saying like I saw a lot of that, and I was wondering why that was, and so I heard about this where I guess if you kind of you buy one of these businesses, and there's a whole like it's a whole known thing now, so you've got a lot of like South Asians coming in, and maybe there's other cultures, but they're also then using that to, once they get their citizenship, of bringing their families over. So just I rest.
Oh, period. Shout outs to that. And shout outs to them investing into the communities around them and paying their tithes to be able to get what they're right. I have no issue with that. Matter of fact, can I just say this? As a black person, I don't give a fuck who coming into this country or who leaving. I'm over it. That's not my fight. None of it's my fight. I think that, the folk who have a problem with it, they should go out and fight, period. Like, I don't understand why specifically minorities who were born here would ever invest energy in what's going on, because we have no power to control it. We have no power to maneuver it. We have no power. We can profit from it, though. I'm going to be honest. Every time I see an immigrant, I look at that number. Okay, we can profit from it. But to be emotionally invested into any of that stuff when there's so many things that are going to happen in this country that is going to impact us as individuals who live in neighborhoods, who water may be impacted by data centers that are built in America, right? We see that happening where, there was a documentary that was put out that there was a data center, I think it's in Michigan, where the data center is dumping, waste into the waters and people are impacted. They're fucking, sorry, it's in Memphis, thank you, Katrina, where we're like, okay with that, we're okay with using ChatGPT, but like your water's fucked up. So it's like, I don't know, it's giving the Matrix, right, where it's like they love data so much that it blew them into oblivion or whatever, and now they're fucked over. And I just want to be clear, like, I found they're building one in Louisiana, and just the other day there was an alert that everybody in New Orleans shouldn't drink the water. And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, that's so scary to actually see. So why are we like comfortable with that? Like, why are we comfortable with billionaires coming in and creating these programs that are not needed? AI is making people fucking more stupid. Let's talk about that, right? Because I see on Twitter, I see people with ChatGPT. I was at a bar the other day, and we were like talking, having a good time, and some girl goes, ChatGPT, tell me the ingredients in a Long Island. Guys, look! And I'm like, girl, you could have just asked the fucking bartender. He's right there, and you saw the fucking ingredients pour in. So, I don't vibe with that. I'm just like, I'm weirded out by people who are super AI focused and are more comfortable, because AI was sold to us that the common American would benefit from it. It does not benefit anybody. It just makes us more stupid. And to be honest, AI is just Google. Okay, you people are like, oh, you can train it to do better. No, you cannot. I've used these different AI models, and they still give you wrong information, and people don't fact check it. Somebody sent me an email the other day, and it was ChatGPT that I can tell based upon you're not fact checking what I sent you. Period. And what was going on there. So I just wanted to add that out there.
Oh, good. No, I said I agree with you.
So the only thing that I got to say, like, I disagree with Ion. I mean, I understand your view about the chat GPT.
About what, the clean water that AI is fucking up, or what?
No, that the part that it gives that information. I found a couple of times when I chat GPT and it gave me misinformation a couple of times, especially when it comes to history. But the part that I look at AI is that most of us in this room, we're not going to be alive to see it when it reaches its zenith, right? Right now, it's still in its experimental stages. It's, technology that they're developing, right? It's developing even as we speak. So it doesn't.
They said that about the last generation.
Hold on. Well, I'm just giving you my opinion, right? So the generation that's coming, well, I don't think everything you said was fact.
I mean, what can you break down? What wasn't a fact?
What wasn't a fact is how you just
ridicule the woman for using the technology
That was not fact. That was my opinion.
Hold on. That was a fact.
That was my opinion.
No, it was a fact that she used Chat GPT to find out what was in a glass of alcohol.
That she saw being made.
Right. So let me just finish, because you're trying to just make what I'm saying like you're just the Trump of the room with your view.
Here we go. Go ahead.
I know, right? Here we go. So the whole thing is that we're not going to be alive to see it reach its zenith. Right? I have no problem with technology as long as it makes our lives better. If I can ask ChatGPT to give me the full breakdown of who Ion is on Clubhouse, and that shit gives me a full story breakdown, I'm gonna use that motherfucker. I'm done speaking.
Yeah. So, like, I think my opinion was, so I don't know if y'all know, but drinks are made differently. So she liked the drink that was made in front of her by a person. So she went to a robot on her phone to ask how that drink was made. And I couldn't exist or be truthful because, you know, drinks are never perfectly made all at once, right? Or all in the same way. So she should have just asked, oh, I have Long Island's all the time. This one was different. Let me see how you made it that was different. So I could just understand that. But back to the AI situation, and you say that the world is, that the next generation is going to be good at it. What generation? Because American education, kids are dropping out of the school and getting dumber. So I would love to know, like, who's teaching these kids that are not applying for schools and signing up for programs that they're going to learn AI and master it better than anybody else. Like, college programs in general are on the decline. So where are these, like, college kids that are going to save you? I mean, as years go along, the reading level of the average American gets lowered.
Yeah, no, I agree with Ryan. I'm an engineer, and I started using ChatGPT. Like, I was running an analysis, so I was ChatGPT and then running my own, like, Excel spreadsheet at the same time. And I caught it like 3 times where it made math errors, and I went back and said, hey, I don't think that's right. And the AI was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Let me update it. This was wrong. And I was like, oh, shit, I can't trust this. And you're right. I don't see it like, I don't know how AI can grow beyond us, right? It's like AI can't take 2 new and interesting things and put it together and create something new. Like Ion said, like, how do I make a Long Island better? Because AI doesn't understand the concept of a Long Island iced tea or how it tastes or how it makes you feel. It's not human. So the only like, even in engineering, we only use it to optimize. So we had to come up with the shape. We had to get like 80% of the way there. And then we use the AI to get us the rest of the way. But it can't. If I told it, hey, make this new gizmo for me that does A, B, C, and D, it'll get it wrong every time. Like, it doesn't have that power. Maybe it may get there in the future, but I have a hard time believing that. So I agree with you.
You can tell who works in AI because
Yeah, so I want to say this pretty fast because somebody in the chat said that reading levels are not getting lower. So I just want to be clear that just so that we understand, and I want you to ask ChatGPT, since you guys love it so much, it will tell you that ever since COVID, there was now a huger gap of reading levels, period. So the average reading score, in between 2024 and 2022 have lowered 5 points than 2019. So this is like the thing that I'm saying, like, the average person it's so wanting to be right, and I think that this is an impact of ChatGPT, where people just believe that everybody is smarter, and no, when it comes down to things. So I would love for you, Dr. Anonymally, Soul, to prove that to be a fact. No, you're questioning me, so you have to prove that I'm wrong. Please, since you said I'm wrong, prove that I'm wrong. But you go ask ChatGPT that you love so much to do the work. What? This is crazy. Not you asking me to do something that you can use through ChatGPT. Just look it up through there. Thank you, everybody, for being honest that ChatGPT lied to you. Thank you. I've used it before, where certain things that I've known to be true, that I've known to be true, it is wrong. I'm like, what the fuck? what the fuck is happening? You know, what's going on? What's the 411 here? Like, how did you miss that? And you know what pisses me off or triggers me? Who was that guy talking about? Who was an engineer?
Yeah, that's me. Slide at the bottom.
And Slide, it be the simple shit that I be scared of. I'm like, how did you fuck that? Like, if I'm able to catch that fast, okay? I never said that it's getting worse because of ChatGPT. See now it changes anonymously. See, you said that your first point was that the reading levels were not getting lower. Period. I said, how are these people who don't read and see now you're changing it, okay? Now you're changing it. No, I've never said that. It doesn't matter if they've always been low. My argument was that they were getting lower. And you said that they weren't. That was your argument. And now you're changing it now because you're wrong. Just say that you're wrong. Just say that you're wrong.
You know what I'm excited about though? Like as an engineer, like if they take AI and train it on like NASA, all the NASA data, you know, I'm designing something and so that it's based in some fact or actual test or actual real data. I know they're trying to get to what they call industrial AI. I think that's when it's going to truly become powerful. I don't think it's going to, like as an engineer, I'm not worried about it replacing me. Yeah, but it makes us much faster because right now it takes us like, in my industry, like in aerospace, it takes like 4 to 5 years to really train a good engineer post-graduation. And so with AI, they don't got to go ask questions. They don't got to go like bug other folks. They can, you know, use the ChatGPT as a mentor, as an assistant guide. We can go a lot faster.
So
that's what I'm excited about.
Go ahead. What I'm not excited about is that, like, if the people who are going to be using AI are getting dumber, what's going to happen to AI?
Can I add to the conversation for us, the kids and education? AI goes as a hands-on parent and an active person in the community when it comes to kids. The introduction of social media and cell phones to the kids under the age of 13 is where the decline in their education started. It's only getting worse because now you can just take a picture of your problem and Apple with your iPhone and it'll give you the answers. So they don't have to work the answers out in their head. They can just say speak to chat so they don't no longer have to read. It's only making it worse, but it has been really bad beforehand. The COVID situation only made people look at it.
But can I just say this?
More because the kids.
I never made the argument that kids were getting.
No, I'm not going against you. I was just saying for ChatGPT. No, I'm not going against what anybody said. Yeah. I was just adding to it as a parent. That I noticed as a parent with kids that was in school during COVID, before then and now, that a decline in their participation in school was already declining. The cell phones, social media, and now ChatGPT and things like that is making it worse, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing against what nobody else has said on here. I was agreeing, but I'm saying from a personal, hands-on experience with these kids that I help or I talk to, yeah, they're not interested in learning in a school and reading, and if somebody else can do it, they're going to get them to do. They're going to do that. They're not actually putting the work in. So it don't just falls on social media and cell phones. It also falls on parents as well. But that goes without saying. But I wasn't going against what you were saying. You're totally right about that. But now that we have that, we can just ask a question instead of reading the book. It used to be rent the movie. Now is instead of doing a problem, ask your phone to tell you the answer. So we are literally, our kids are getting dumber because of their lack of doing it themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not because they can't learn, it's because they don't have to now.
Thank you. And I did put an article in the chat to prove what I said before. And I just want to say that it does come from the Department of Education, who actually holds the records of every child that that is in the school system. So I'm pretty sure that they would understand from a different point of how smart or how dumb a kid is. So I don't know, what's going on here, or why we're trying to, paint this narrative that this doesn't exist. when first we know in Black communities this has been happening. Okay, but what my argument was, and thank you for clarifying, TQ, that you wasn't pointing to me, was that specifically, Doug had said that, the next generation of kids are going to be able to help elevate it. So I responded with, hey, the next generation of kids are getting dumber. So how is that possible, especially since, we've known that, the separation from kids in school for about 3 years, really kind of, expedited that process. So how is there going to be an elevation in something that when the thing that is supposed to elevate it, is now declining in reading levels, just education just in general?
Yeah, but the education. And Dr. Anomaly, I don't know if you were specifically speaking to me. This is not my room. This is not my normal topic of conversation. But there's no reason for you to put a DR in front of your name and think you're smarter than everybody in the room, because I'm going off hands-on experience of working with kids for the last 20 years. I need a degree to know that they're declining in their education.
Oh, but this is actually Josh, like breaking it dumber, because here you have a doctor, right, who is trying to disprove a Black doctor, I'm assuming, because this is a Black room, who is going against something that is proven by the Department of Education, who consistently studies children every day. So that's crazy to me. This is what I'm saying. This is how I know shit is going down going forward. Can you imagine a doctor is in disagreement with sources that are specifically directed to the government, which is the same person that gave her or him their education? That's crazy. That's how you know the system is getting more stupider.
But is it about is it about the kids getting the right answer, or is it about the journey? I feel like as we evolve, the way we teach our kids is going to have to evolve too, right? Okay, sure, you got the right answer, but what does that answer mean? Just say, I'm an engineer. We got young engineers coming every day, and they're like, oh, I did this analysis. It took me all day to get, and here goes my answer. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And they're like, I don't know. And so I think we got to teach them, what does, you went through that whole process.
Sherry came out the mic fast as hell. I don't know where she got that finger power from, but she did first off when old boy stopped talking, so I gotta honor that, and then y'all gonna have added. But just respect the flow, man, please, because I know this is heated. A lot of people got a lot of things to say. It is funny as fuck, Mr. Richard. One mic on Sherry.
I love y'all because we're a bunch of fools when we want to be, but we all do have our perspectives on this shit, right? Love y'all down so much because, first of all, okay, Elon has never been recognized other than being a Negro, okay? He's a Negro to the fucking white folks. I'm sorry. I love y'all down there. Listen, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, okay? The Afrikaners is always
in this position, it's just very weird, but, to the AI piece, shout out to Asia, right, who is making specific programs in schooling so that their kids can be above the AI program, and they've been doing this for a very long time. This is why, as soon as their kids come to this country, they're able to leap over your dumbass children, now kids are dumb, and really kind of propel forward and not even have to go to college to jump in these programs. So there's something that's happening here, and until we are able to have these conversations, until we're able to have these conversations. You read 2 articles in 5 seconds. Wow, love that. You're really a doctor.
Hagen?
Yeah, Hagen.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying, because it's not just the kids. I am now trying to find a space to give a class called Adult to people over the ages of 25 and between the ages of 25 and 50, because they also need help with learning how to budget and actually learning how to live as an adult. So it's not just the kids depending solely on the AI and ChatGPT and not putting in the work. You got people in my generation, generations before me and generations after me, that has dropped the ball, and why some of these kids out here are declining as well, because you can't teach your kids something you don't know. So it's more to it than just that. Because people my age, I'm having a conversation with someone at the grocery store, and they're like, "You gotta do that? I never thought I had to do that." And they're grown. So it's more to it than that. But I just want to agree with you. But it's the fact that if you're going to argue with someone about the declining of the kids' education, everything, you have the background in it, do you actually have kids or experience in that? Because it's not hard to see that they're spending more time doing other things than reading and writing and doing math in their head. Because what happens when the grid goes down?
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I don't think that is I don't think that is the kid's responsibility at all. So.
Oh no, not the responsibility. I'm just saying this is what if you have an adult who can't count, they can't teach their kid to count. So the kid is getting the answers off the phone from the phone and things like that. So I understand that part. My thing is, if we have adults who was slid through that didn't actually get to learn comprehension skills and the actual math skills and things like that didn't get help with homework.
Yeah,
those are the to have the kids now.
But you make a great point, because we have doctors who can't even read full articles and come to an assumption that they're wrong. So it's like even our smartest people are dumb. So I get what you mean by that stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the reason I brought Get Up Dr. Anomaly, because I didn't want to just make it seem like I was blaming social media and cell phones, because it started somewhere and it had to start where we dropped the ball at as parents. So that's the reason I did try. I wanted to make sure I add that in. I'm not just saying it's social media. It's not just the cell phones. It's the actual how the kids were screwed up in their education and their growing. They wasn't reared right, and that passes down from generation to generation. It's actually not a curse. It's just a bad habit that nobody's changed.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Anomaly, I didn't blame AI or COVID for kids' reading struggles. I specifically just said it was a decline. That's all I said. I said it was more of a decline. I never said that. I don't know what, that's why I'm just so confused. I can't believe that I'm speaking to a black doctor. Let me ping in an Asian doctor, because that's who I go to. I don't go to the blacks just because of this specific reason. Let me ping one in here and see if they can understand the specifics a little bit better than you can. I dropped the link 3 times. I'm not doing it again. I'm really not. I'm not going to be y'all, mule slave. Google it like everybody else did, like I did, and go read the article like I did, and go look into it. The doctor, specifically, I want the doctor to prove that I'm wrong. He has not dropped one link disapproving anything that I said. They have never, I'm still waiting. You're giving opinions. I'm still waiting. Can you point out, give us what you asked us to give you to disprove what we were saying? Because the only argument was that there's a decline. I get paid to drop links. Oh Lord, okay, I'm gonna ignore you now, because I just realized
you don't get paid to drop knowledge.
Yeah, very.
You're gonna be working on it.
Yeah, very. I just knew you had y'all. That's to be careful with these doctors. Okay, they on Clubhouse all day. This is why I wonder where were these doctors when black people specifically were being disproportionately impacted by anything. I mean, it just seems like the more black doctors we have, the more black people get fucked up. So I don't know what the damn purpose of your asses here to be on Clubhouse and drop links. Got it. And argue with people over facts that we can prove. Whew, child. Alright, so this is great. And I just wanted to say I simply found my articles, and my sources and my documents by simply going online and just doing research. And I do think that AI has its benefits, but I really don't think that, I don't think that I would rather, I am weird, very weird. I don't know what word, I don't know. I'm very weird. But yeah. But I'm healthy, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I'm living my best life. But, I don't think that sacrificing clean water is something that I would rather do just to keep AI around, period.
think the problem is this: it's a tool, and instead of us using it as a tool, we use it every day as a crutch. So my thing is, I'm trying not to put, as a chef, I put everything in like food terms. If I need a saucepan because I'm making sauce, I'm gonna use a saucepan. I'm not gonna use a pot. Even though you can, I like to do things in actual order. If we use the tools for what they were used for, then they will work properly. But once you start misusing these tools to do your job for you, is where we get caught up in the fuckery at.
There's also a lot to be said for if you don't have an agenda will be what you're a part of. You say that again. If you don't utilize AI for your own best interest and, put some AI out there to watch the other AI, just to create, if you don't utilize what you can, and then when others are utilizing what they can, and it creeps up on you, just know that, you pay attention, because I'm always going to bet on that human brain that produces AI, by the way before I give the credence to just AI took over all humans.
But if AI is killing people, literally, and in the environment too, what's the purpose of it, helping? I mean, you know what I mean? We weren't going to die without AI, but it seems like now it's expediting more deaths. It's legitimately killing us, when it comes down to water, when it comes down to environment, when it comes down to air. I don't know, does anybody want to live? Or, am I maybe a person who just would rather,
can you break that down for me? Because I'm lost a little bit. You're saying that AI is killing us. Can you break that down for me a little?
Yeah, so multiple different sources that are coming out of big motherboard places that are being built in America, where they're actually having environmental issues and they're actually having water issues too. Memphis is a perfect example of that, where because we have AI on every program too, on almost everything, they're actually suppressing the story. AI is on purpose to see how dangerous it is. I can give you another example of that. McDonald's. There was a black billionaire who I think just won billions of dollars because of how McDonald's used AI and algorithms to specifically promote unhealthy food to black people. Do you need more?
No, I'm walking this through, so you're breaking this down. So you're saying that because they build facilities to support AI, those facilities are stripping the land and actually killing people and poisoning the water. And the McDonald's reference that you use is saying that they used AI to actually push an agenda of bad food choices to black people. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I can also see, to your point, as human beings, we have the ability to hold accountability on people that create AI. For example, if somebody, anything other than AI, it's always been if the cause and effect. If person A does something that has a negative effect on person B, you hold person A accountable. That's just basic one-on-one accountability. So if you create something that goes out here, and like it just was brought up at McDonald's, and it's having a negative effect, the accountability about what is a big thing. When you're holding responsibility, accountability, as we move forward, somebody's AI in the future might go off and just kill somebody. I don't know. Well, who made that damn thing? You know what I'm saying? Before things get out of control, I just believe that there's a hiding behind AI element in general. That covers a lot of ground. Hiding behind it, and so when you finally find out who is actually behind whatever, I think an increased accountability is important, because you have to be careful when what you do has an effect on people. And I believe that will make people really be careful, because in a lot of other ways, how you hold this knife and how there's instructions on a lot of things that, if not, well, you could hurt yourself. So, I'm saying it broad like that because all the full effects of AI have nowhere near, we all agree, kicked in yet, in a lot of ways. And so, but again, they're not just creating themselves. Somebody created the algorithms that do what the AI does. It's not just, they're contrary to what, just my belief, contrary to others might think, like AI has been here for millions of years and it's just doing its own thing, and I don't subscribe to that. There's some real people that are putting things in motion.
Can I ask you a question, Sherry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to ask you a question, because it seemed like you were baffled that this could actually exist in this way. Do you think that that's actually hard to believe, that new systems are being created to disproportionately impact Americans in a bad way? Oh, I'm sorry, corporations.
To answer your question succinctly, no, I don't think that systems can be. I don't disagree with what you just asked me. Yeah, I'm not baffled by that. I'm just always interested to hear other people's opinions that don't necessarily agree with me and how they think. I'm always interested to hear that. It is always something that I'm always interested to hear that. That's why I asked you to explain that. I don't necessarily agree with necessarily what you or Sweet are saying, but
no, but what I'm saying is a fact. Like there's moving.
And I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think, but from the beginning of history of human beings, there's always been systems and things created to actually disproportionately negatively affect the human race. I don't think this is anything new.
I don't think that so we don't disagree, because my argument was never that it was new. My argument was that they're creating in a system that is now 20 times killing the environment more than any other system that was created. So, I would rather us have a conversation specifically about, let's stop this thing that is actually going to expedite the death of a lot more people. I mean, this data center is fairly new, that was created in Memphis, and it's already killing towns. Already killing the water. I'm going to find a documentary, and hopefully we can put it, I think it's on Netflix. It's already changing. I don't know if you've seen these people's homes who are speaking about this, and these people are not black, just so that you know. They're white people. They're black people in there too, but the white women have broken down how these environments are really killing people. So a data center that's fairly new is already destroying areas. Mind you, they just now built one in Louisiana, right, where there was an alleged storm that happened, and it just so happened that these people swooped in and brought these things down, and we are just it's nothing new. What? So that means don't fight it? That means just allow it to happen because it's nothing new. What was the purpose of saying that it's nothing new? Our argument is that it's 20 times more likely it's going to expedite whatever is happening in the average place 20 times more faster.
I don't disagree with you that they're building that and it's 20 times more faster. I completely agree with all of that. Just my purview is that there's something far more nefarious, and there's more things that are more important than that are actually the cause of this being the case.
What's more important than clean water?
Let me say it this way. The reason why there is such a system, and the reason why there hasn't even been created such a thing, is because of this country and our stance in being, how can I say this? We are more concerned about what we can consume, and more concerned, and I'm not talking about physically eating, I'm saying consume and what we accumulate, as opposed to living in concert with the earth. We have always been that way. This country was founded on that particular thought process. It has always been that way. We have never wanted to live in concert and in agreement with what was already here. That's from the foundation of this country. So to assume that we would not be here with the advent of something like you're describing, that I haven't read the articles, but I have no reason to doubt you. It makes perfect sense. And I will believe you that we are creating something that is destroying the earth, is destroying the planet. We did that when we decided to build nuclear facilities. It was a horrible decision.
We didn't do anything. The systems did.
Well, I'm not saying we don't misinterpret me. Don't misinterpret me. What I'm saying is, we as a collective, as a country, we have decided, and I'm not saying the system. I'm saying this is what we've always done as human beings in this country. We've said that we want this, and it has never been in concert with the earth and the planet.
You're missing.
And what I'm saying is, what you're proposing, I agree with you 1,000%. But my point that I'm saying that is more nefarious, say for instance we stop all AI. We're going to just make something else because of the problems with how we believe that we should be operating on this soil. It's a systemic human problem.
Yeah.
That's my...
Yeah, the argument was never to stop AI. The argument was to stop creating systems and places that impact the environment.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And I just want to be clear, we had nuclear plants. A lot of nuclear plants closed because people spoke up and actually said things about it. So I think that we can walk and chew gum at the same time and really, because it's important. A lot of people in this room, including you, didn't know that these data centers are coming up and purposely going in poor black and white neighborhoods, specifically creating them and then dumping waste in black communities, and then not even creating systems of cold water. And let's just also say this: we are talking about billion-dollar companies that have the power to not only create these systems, but also to create spaces and filters to help clean water. And I think that we need to kind of hold lawmakers accountable for how they allow both state and federal lawmakers accountable for how they show up and how they allow these people to move into neighborhoods based upon backhanded deals of them selling them out. And this is down from the governor down up to the president. Now, for me, the president gonna do what he gonna do, period. But to allow that to happen in a state and not even give clean water. These are corporations that if they wanted to, they can pay for water for everybody in that neighborhood and not ever see an issue. But there's a problem, an unhealthy problem with greed in America. And I do feel because the American people have this oppressed ideology where it's just well, shit happened before, so we just are supposed to leave it alone. Clean water is something that the government should not be able to control or be able to infiltrate. Great food, and good food, the government should not be able to attack and infiltrate. We need to have conversations on how we're being baffled, because to be honest, this motherfucking country should be burning down right now, because not only and this is with the last president too, where we have people who are basically saying we're gonna kill you and fuck you and move on. And I know people are saying that doesn't impact you. No, it does. It does impact you. There are scientists out there coming out and doctors out there saying that these things are impacting us. We saw what happened with black neighborhoods in New York, right? Where I would just say black schools all over this country. Well, just because the government decided to invest more money into schools with better neighborhoods, that impacted us to have allergies and asthma and all of these other heart issues based upon that. Since when are we comfortable with just being in a position where we're okay, and then we have, and this is what kills me, and I'll wrap it up here, then we have other minorities who are in these same schools that thinking that it's us versus you. No, it is not, because your child has fucking asthma too, and your child is overweight, and your child has heart problems too. So you're not different. This is why you can't fool me from a distraction that they're deporting immigrants or that they're doing this stuff. So first of all, let's stop it here. Trump will never be able to deport more people than Joe Biden did in his range, period. So that's a distraction. Let's stop that there. So deportation, it shouldn't even be a conversation. That's a distraction. Two, we need to talk about how both of these presidents allow and set the standard so that it's easier for all of this shit to happen that's happening today. It's very problematic and it's very unhuman. And I think Joe Biden and Obama, both, just to be honest. But I think that we need to start having some serious conversations. And like a lot of these things, I don't know. Did he out deport Joe Biden already? Let's look it up before we automatically say things, because we don't want to prove to me an article, okay? That he set the standard for this. And I think that, we need to start fighting. I hate when I'm online and I'm on Twitter and I see countries burning down this motherfucker because they realize that they're being fucked over. And we come online and have these conversations and have privilege. And we can just be like, well, it happened before. Oh, well. Fuck out of here. No, that's not how it works.
Well, Aaron, you know what, in that sense, and everything that you just said, I don't disagree with any of it. The only thing I will say is I would encourage you to go back further, because I don't think this, and you didn't say that it started with either one of these. That's not something you said. But the illusion is oftentimes people want to stop at Obama or Biden or whatever. This started way back before FDR. And I think the conflation, or where the rubber meets the road and where the problem is the fact that we have a democracy and capitalism. And it's really, and we are an extremely young country. This is an experiment. And for lack of a better way to say it, we don't know what the hell we're doing. And that's why we have the problems that we have.
We did Nigeria.
That's not my point. That's not my point. My point is this, that the conflation that we have is capitalism and the process that we've always propagated. Everyone can have the American dream. And that in and of itself is one of the problems that this country runs into. I don't have the solution. I mean, just on a personal level, I have the solution for me and my family, but everybody doesn't have that opportunity. I'm with you 1,000%. The food is a $1 trillion corporation. It literally came from when we actually pushed down the cigarette company and Philip Morris and had them pay all of that back. All they did was just buy our food and all the access to our food. And then they did the same thing that they did to cigarettes. They did it to our food. It's the same thing. Monsanto is a terrorist organization. I've said that a million times. Everything you said, I agree with. But it's capitalism, and the reason why they put those plants and those things in disproportionately disadvantaged areas is the same reason why they created the ghettos, the reason why they created the projects, the reason why redlining exists, the reason why it's difficult for people of minorities to get funding in certain places. All of that exists because of the same people in power that never get elected, but they buy the people into those positions, and we rail against those people that are in those seats, and they really never control anything. And that's just where this country is now. Am I saying we should sit there? No, I'm not saying we should sit there. But I think that oftentimes the conversation is too nuanced to actually have, and people will just want to stop at, let me point a finger here. But
this conversation, let me know when I can jump in. I'm going to give it right back to you, I promise. This argument wasn't about pointing a finger, and sometimes when we're on one side of things, we think that everything is debatable. For me, this is information that needs to be spread just for people because they're not knowing that was happening. I'm not debating, or neither do I care about 100% eradicating things. No, I just think that people need to know that the stuff that they are supporting in America, okay, because I heard a lot of people say, well, AI is great. Well, how if it's killing you through water? And I want to have the discussion to have something more thought-provoking, a conversation that's more thought-provoking, because I think a lot of people become parrots of the system. When you see things online, okay, or you see things on ChatGPT, and you get fooled into having conversations about shit that does not impact you. I don't give a fuck how good ChatGPT is, but if it's impacting my water and the water of children all around, America, we have to have that conversation. I also wanted to correct this, because a lot of people try to say, oh, it's Obama. No, I was right. This whole scam of deportation and what Trump is putting on, he still has not deported. He still did not deport more people than Joe Biden did. So why are we even having a conversation? Because clearly this is nothing new. And this is what AI does to us. It creates algorithms where we believe shit that does not exist. You cannot not care about something now and then care about it when it's time for somebody that you don't like. That's very hypocritical, and I feel like that's very American of us to not give a fuck about deportation when it was at its worst, but give a fuck about it when it's its best. And I know people are like, oh, well, there's a issue with how it's being done. Well, let's be clear, especially if you're black or you're a minority that comes from a family that was born in this country. Unfortunately, the little bit of shit that they're getting, we get that worse, and we live here. So when they promised themselves that they wanted to show up in America as Americans, right? They showed up for that same exact thing. Just like when I go to Mexico or I go to a Dominican Republic, just because I visited there, how I'm held responsible for how I showed up and how I acted and how I broke the law, I cannot control. I also want to be clear, America is the only country where they will deport you back to your country. Every other country in this motherfucking planet here will send you to go to jail time or kill your ass for being an immigrant. So I think that, and then waste our American dollars to be able to do it, right? So when these people come to, and I'm not against it. Like I get how things work and how things. I'm not speaking against it. I'm just speaking the facts of deportation and how it was worse under a government that was respected more. And I know people are not saying things like Joe Biden is not in office anymore, but I'm so sorry. Every time Joe Biden did something bad, I heard that it was because of Trump. No, like I'm talking about facts in comparison of presidents, which is something that we do all the time, even when we're looking for new candidates. I'm sorry, I'll shut up for a bit because I know that I'm like rambling.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I was just gonna say in agreements that when we jump into this and now we is America. Now we can't have any real. Now we're not gonna have no solutions to. Now you're just gonna be a victim forever. And I don't subscribe to that. I believe that the we of the information is pointed out. This is what's happening right now, real time. Okay, let's dig into that because there's still the ability to squash that as a people. See, I like to come from the angle of what can be done about it. Now, the things like you said, president level, Congress, okay, to whatever degree, that's in motion a certain kind of way. But there are some things right here, right now that if it comes to your front door, if you can't drink water, and that's happening over there across the town, that's something that in the moment, with enough people standing there, hold up, wait a minute, now you can check that. That's the only value to me. If you can't check it, then yeah, but when we don't put enough airtime on agreement around hold up, what? And some things have to continue to be alarming, like hold up, wait a minute, no. There is still an element of we the people. Whatever city, whatever zip code, whatever state, whatever, as a country, obviously. But if you don't have good people, I call them good. Just if you recognize something, speak on it. And if you don't have enough people that act on that, then you just say, oh well, I guess it's someone else's job. Now we gotten real spooky. Now we done got into a abracadabra, somebody else is gonna handle it. No, I believe that's a part of the biggest problem we all have as Americans and people on this planet is there's not enough people speaking to what's really going on. And so the more that happens, now we can squash it. And again, back to the accountability, responsibility, that hold up, especially if you're a senator or mayor or whoever or business owners and hold up. Well, you hiring all of these. I mean, Trump, come on. All the people that's hiring all these illegals that's working in the construction and, put weight on them too since you really want to eradicate it like that. But when you don't do that, I got to question your intention. Because these people are getting below minimum wage and there are people paying them, big corporations. So if you're really sincere, tackle that problem while you're tackling. Because some of them got the idea there's a green light, hey, come on over here, and there's a pipeline that's been created over some decades. And so to just kind of come in at the end, but all I'm saying, so back to the AI part in the water, yeah, I'm glad that because we gotta stay focused. If we just start talking about, this problem has been existing for the 100, now we no longer in solution conversation. Now we just in, but me too, and kind of movement stuff. And it's like, no. Let's get, before everything creeps up on everybody, deal with the stuff that's at the door right now. And I appreciate.
And Karen, you know what? I think that first of all, you're extremely intelligent, and I haven't had a conversation with you, but I would like to actually ask you a couple of questions about the AI conversation and just get your opinion on it. You mentioned about the AI and them building the data centers and exposing the waters, and that's something that we should all care about. I'm just curious your take on this. From the corporate side and from a governmental side, one of the issues that they have as far as AI and innovation is that for a long time the United States has not been a manufacturing driven economy. It's been consumer driven. And because of that, and I'm just telling you what they say. I don't necessarily agree with this, but this is the argument, is that one of the things that they have been trying to do, at least in this administration, some of it with the CHIPS Act that Biden passed, is that they're trying to be more of an innovator in that sense and actually take back market share of things like AI, take back market share of innovation in medical development, in those types of things. And a lot of AI and a lot of quantum, because people are comfortable with AI, but actually innovation has moved past AI, and we're on to quantum computing at this point, which is past AI. But that's what the majority of people are familiar with. So in that sense, their thought process is, we're going to actually build data centers, we're going to actually build the infrastructure to actually take back the market share from a global economy, that the United States will be the innovators, and all innovation will actually, not all, but a large portion of innovation will come to the United States, which will drive our economy, which will actually drive up the value of our dollar, since that the dollar has lost a rating. In just this year, the dollar is falling currently now because gold is going through the roof, which is the opposite, because Dixie, when it falls, it pushes up gold. So they are struggling now, and with the passage of the Genius Act, HR 1664, HR 3663, they're trying to create stable coins to actually shore up the U.S. dollar. So they've been screaming about bringing back manufacturing, screaming about bringing back jobs. That has been the last three administrations about how we're going to create jobs. The thought process is, instead of us being bystanders and watching all of the other countries, y'all remember when COVID happened, we couldn't even get chips for F-150 Lightning trucks. Why? Because they were mass produced in Taiwan and Hong Kong. And their thought process is, we don't want to be in that situation. We want to drive innovation. So talk to me, just in your opinion, about how that happens. And we also sound the bell and the whistle that building this infrastructure and building these centers is literally killing our water, our resources. How do we actually be innovators and get around that?
Okay.
Yeah, talk to me.
Well, the billions of dollars that they received from us using it, first of all, I'm going to answer this question, because somebody had said specifically that there are not countries in the chat that, kill people for crossing our country. Afghanistan and Syria and is it North Korea or South Korea, will kill you for coming into their borders. Just so y'all know. So I just wanted to clarify, I'm not just saying things. I know that y'all used to me being ignorant and kind of like silly on this app. But I'm when it comes down to this type of stuff, I'm very strategic on what I say. Now, to your question, how do we do both? The same amount of money, right, that we invest into these data centers is the same amount of money as we focus on giving investments into scientists and creators and people who can work on the creation of clean water. It has happened all the time. You have told me specifically that they want to use data centers to amplify the medical system. Well, of course you want to do that because that benefits you, because what you're doing is you're still killing off people who are now going to be able to use that, go to these hospitals that you're create these medical centers that you're creating and that you're trying to expedite because of things that you've done. How can you get a killer and a healer at the same time? It don't work that way. Now, I think that lawmakers, if I, had a choice, I think that lawmakers should hold companies accountable for how much, like, let's say, if you're going to invest $3 billion into an investment center, you got to invest $3 million into the environment of that country. Of that state, specifically of what you're building in. That can be in any way. That can be in plants. That could be in trees. That can be in anything. And matter of fact, I'm sorry, you have to actually donate double. Since you're going to have these programs and have all of these things that are going to be killing nature, you need to donate double the amount of money that you're going to invest in building in something that's killing that area. Now, you also have to slow down, you also have to invest into the hospitals, right? You also have to invest into everything that you're attacking. So I think that's simple. That is a simple thing that you can do. And you have the money to be able to do that because we see that you have the ability when you feel like to create a data center out of nowhere. So you have the money. You have the money. So, and people want to make it, not you specifically, sir. People want to make it seem like that this is so hard. It is not hard. Invest into what you are building, period. Matter of fact, companies used to be held responsible for that, right? I don't know if y'all know, but there was a bill, I forgot what it was, that when big corporations came into places, they had to invest into all the businesses, the streets, right? Everything that came around. I'll give you a perfect example of that. The Super Bowl came to New Orleans the other day. The government handed New Orleans $500 million for a street facelift. They facelift the whole French Quarter. They invest into the environment, which is the cleaning up of it, just because there was money coming in. That's the same exact model that we have to have for these companies and these corporations that come in. If you want to make money, and it benefits them too. You clean up the neighborhood, you have more people coming in. So I just want to put that out there, that's the way that you can claim. Maybe, are you against that? Are you for that?
They already have that.
No, we don't.
It's called concurrency and impact fees. So when you go and get a building permit, you have to pay the municipality for the added stress. Come on, bro, you gotta share the mic, man.
No. I want you to break down to me concrete on how that data center that is being built, because we're specifically speaking about data centers that are killing organizations. I gave you specific points. I said in the environment, in the water, the specific things that are impacting. So I want you to tell me specifically how we already have that and what data center has that. Go ahead.
So now you're moving the goalposts. So originally you said you wanted companies to invest in the communities. And I said they already have that.
Wait,
now you want to talk about something. Come on, sir. Oh, come on, Aeon. We ain't got to fight, bro. Let's just have a
because you're wrong and you're fighting a point.
Wait, I'm going. Look, if you didn't say, look, bro. If you want to change your inquiry to something else or make a different statement, that's fine.
GA, did you not ask me about the data center?
All right, you're doing too much, man. Just calm down.
No, I just want to ask because I do have to leave some. GA, did you not ask me about the data center?
Yeah, but you also made a different statement, bro. He can ask you about something and you make a statement that I'm referring to. That's not what he's referring to.
Okay.
So let's not play games, please.
That's what I was answering. Go ahead. What you want to say?
Yeah, that's why I fuck with Concrete, because he don't be letting y'all niggas get away with the fuck y'all said.
I just want to say we were talking about data centers.
Thank you, Thug.
And AI, but you want to argue something else.
Bro, you made a statement that I was addressing. That's it, bro. It's nothing more, nothing less.
I was asked about AI. You're not going to listen. Let me tell you something. This may work with the woman that y'all deal with. It don't work on me. That whole gaslighting tactic and trying to switch a topic. I know that you specifically are not smart enough to have this conversation.
I got a cool.
I don't even want to debate you because that's your own personal universe. That shit may work on those women that you argue with and them dumb niggas. It don't work here. I know what I said. I specifically.
Why are you so animated, bro?
Like,
What
what's
you mean
going
I'm
on?
feeling animated? I'm black.
Yelling, bro.
That's how we talk.
Are we not sophisticated black people?
Wait,
Can we not have a sophisticated black people conversation?
Where are you from that black people are quiet?
Bro,
What
this is not a sporting event. This is not a spades game.
No.
This is not a fucking hookah bar.
Spades
This is
game
a conversation. Thank you. I like it. This is an intellectual conversation and intellectual gang banging. You're only doing gang banging. You're not doing anything intellectual. Calm down.
You're in a space that says intellectual gangbanging. I also want to be clear. When the leaders of this app, what's his name? Paul and Rohan tell me how to speak, then I can speak. When you want somebody to speak in your own way, build your own motherfucking app, black man, and then go tell people.
You just telling me you got a white zaddy and you can't respect your brother unless your white daddy make you do it. Is that it? You can't show respect to your brother unless your white daddy tell you to do it?
No.
That's crazy.
No. When Paul and Rohan tell me to lower my motherfucking voice and get me off this motherfucker, then I will. And if that's the case, don't
Bro,
tell me.
all I'm asking you to do is just calm down so we can have a conversation.
I'm
You shouldn't need a white instruction to do that, bro. That's crazy.
All the time.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Are you telling me how I speak?
Bro, you speak calmly sometimes, bro. You don't always speak animated.
Hey yo, Concrete, we get back to the conversation. You allow him to get his shit off. He over there snapping his fingers and doing all kind of bitch.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. We better than that.
Should I talk like a prisoner?
We're better than that. We're better than that.
Yo, bro.
Can we
Yeah, son. Yeah, son. That's it. Do it. Yeah, bro. Yo, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna rap you. I'm gonna kill you. You know, should I do that? That's better. Yeah, son. Yeah. That's what we talking about. Yeah.
Y'all got it. I was trying to have a conversation, but y'all want to do the personal stuff back and forth.
Go ahead, GA.
I really, first of all, and I appreciate you answering the question that I asked. And the only follow-up question that I would ask you is this, is if they can do both, like you use the example, if they take $3 million, they can put $3 million back, or you said they can double it into the economic survival or the climate of the place where they're building the data center. I hear you when I say that. What's to prevent me, Mr. Corporate Man, from saying, well, I don't want to do that, so I'll just build my data center in South America, in Africa. And that was the point that I was kind of getting to, is the sense that that is what actually happened after Reagan, is they said, hey, what we can do, what you need to do is you need to be responsible, you need to sow back into the environment, you need to be responsible, we're going to require you, we're going to hold your feet to the fire. And corporate America said, okay, bet, tell you what, we'll just move all of our plants out of the country. And then you had unemployment skyrocket, you had inflation skyrocket. To attract them back, one of the tenements of this particular administration is they're relaxing all of these regulations. And that's what is happening now, to attract companies back. You've heard Trump say, hey, you know what, he fussed at John Deere. He's like, we'll make your tractors, we'll put a 250% tariff on your tractors if you take your stuff out of the country. My point is, corporate America will just build elsewhere. They don't have to do that. And the data centers won't be here. We won't be innovators. There'll be other countries that'll have those jobs. And then where does that leave us economically as a country? And I'm just curious on your take on that. I'm not arguing the point. I just want to hear what you.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So this is when it becomes a two-way street with the people have to hold themselves responsible too when it comes down to people who decide to, flee against countries. For me, I'm not against what Trump is doing and trying to bring the people back, but what I'm saying that they need to invest. But this is when the people need to only invest into companies that are specifically in America, and that may hurt us a bit, where we may not have the same exact thing, but it would teach a lesson. We need to do it with Target, right? When Target decides to drop certain things, and their shit immediately dropped down, and they came back with, trying to change something and make things a little bit differently. So I think it's a two-way street. I don't only think it's the government and the company's responsibility. I think it's also the leaders in said communities, to let people know, hey, this is what's happening. Unemployment is up. So guess what? Collectively in America, we're not going to support Facebook, right? We're not going to support certain companies, and we're going to completely 100% go in other places. We see that happen when people were mad at Twitter. They specifically went to Blue Sky. Guess what happened? Elon Musk ended up changing his regulations so that it's sided on free speech on both sides, where both sides were able to say things or see things, and it wasn't just a Republican state. A Republican app or a conservative app. So I think it's both-sided. I never said it was going to be easy, but I think it's important that we prioritize, the health of people, that we prioritize, the environment that we live in, because we cannot just say that we want corporations to come back and just kill us faster, because we already saw what they did to other countries. And even though their money was over here, the economies of these countries only impacted the rich. It did not impact the poor, GA. So even when these people are coming back and people are getting jobs, you think that, like, when we say economy, you have to understand that this is two-sided. This is two-sided. There's a bottom and there's a top. Every time we see economy, we see it going up, we're like, oh my God, the rich are getting richer. That doesn't impact the bottom range. So even with them coming back to this country, we're still fucked.
I don't disagree with you. And I think it's going to hurt for that to happen. You're far more optimistic than I am. I just don't believe Americans even care that much. And I don't think they will ever care that much. To make it a fine point, I think people will always buy Temu before they spend that that $19.99 product. They'll actually spend $59.99 to buy it in the U.S. I don't think people care that much, and I don't think that they'll vote with their dollars that way. But that's just my opinion. I don't have that kind of faith in the American public. I just don't, because they've proven time and time again that they don't care until it actually hits their door. And then they cry for everybody else to rally around them once it hits that door. Kind of like the people that say, I already vote for Trump. And now they're crying on TV. I think that's what we...
Yeah, but, GA, I think that we need to get better at having conversations and having them radically. For me, having a conversation about Temu doesn't need to be about economy. It needs to be like, hey, it's killing you. And the reason why these issues are happening in this way, and people are like, legitimately, when you buy these brands, you're killing somebody not only in another country, but you're killing somebody in your own country. And there's brands out. You know what's so funny? This is why AI is so scary, because they start to influence people. I've seen AI start an algorithm where they overly push denouncing American countries but promoting others. I can give you an example of that. The brand Aloe is right. It's like a luxury Lululemon. I see in my algorithm ever since I started shopping there, right, that people are like, I'm starting to get pushed in my algorithm with AI that they have horrible material, and I know that that Lululemon is better, but I know the reason why that's being pushed is because they want to support these labels that are not American sourced, and I think that we should go against that, and that's why I don't fuck with AI in that way. I don't think that it should be able to control our algorithms, especially when it's going against American countries. American companies and American organizations. That's very scary. That they can, like, AI is legitly. Y'all want to talk about why we shop at Temu? That's because our algorithms, because of AI, push Temu on us. That's why. That's why. Nobody knew what the fuck Temu was until it was all over our algorithms all the time. Every time I go somewhere, it always pushes me to a non-American space. It's the same thing that they did with the perfumes, right? Now we're at, you can go, instead of buying Chanel there, you can get a Birkin from over here. What? Fuck out of here. What you mean you can get a Birkin over here? Y'all anti-black asses. Fuck no. No, where's this coming from? Where's this propaganda coming from? It's coming from these top corporations wanting to fuel and push propaganda in America the same way they do other countries to make us a fascist place. And I'm not with that. And I think that we need to call it out. I'm not saying that AI doesn't need to exist. I'm saying the way the American government base is weaponizing it against other people in America, right? I fuck with it. Okay, it's very dangerous, and we've seen that happen throughout elections. We've seen, y'all, when we didn't have TikTok and all these other places, Angel GIA could vote Republican, me and Madison and Bubbles and Champagne could vote Democrat, and we can still have dinner. But now these algorithms are pushing us to be against us because we don't really have these conversations, and that's dangerous to me, very, in my opinion. And who gives a fuck who voted for who? But now, since we see on Twitter that we're supposed to be angry, you know, we're mad about it. My parents have always voted Republican. Now, out of nowhere, the family's like, oh, you're voting against your rights. But who gives a fuck? Let that person do whatever they want to do, and it's a response. A response is a response. Now we have all of these different, and they push it more on black people. Because I go to certain places, they're not having these conversations. But we're being pushed because those are the topics. And I found it to be crazy when that man just won billions of dollars talking about how McDonald's uses propaganda and uses AI to be able to buying different, you know, certain, I forgot what's called, to promote certain things to black people. The fact that nobody is having that discussion on how these companies who are dangerous to black people, but while not supporting black people and at a top level, right, want to kill us. Why is that not a thing? Why is not government officials not having a conversation about that? Why is it took a black man to sue and win, and then McDonald's is going to say something like, we'll work on it. What? Come on now, y'all. This is way deeper than what we think.
And let me ask you this question, and I'm just curious whether you've actually walked the struggle, because I say this all the time. I'm honest about where I am. I typically, you know, in most conversations, I'm in a bubble, and I admit that. But the actual line from, like, for instance, you just brought up McDonald's. You know, from my perspective and the circles that I move in, McDonald's is the end case. That's the end of the line. The issue is that McDonald's is actually funded by Monarch, which is owned by Monsanto, which is actually ran by the pharmaceutical companies, which are the largest, actually, dark money. They're the largest donors and creators of PAC money and dark money in politics as the pharmaceutical companies, because the whole process is to keep America sick, because if they make them well, then the money dries up. And that's the point. It's never McDonald's. They're the end of the line. It is actually to their benefit to answer to the 3 or 4 or 5 different levels that are above them, that actually put the people in place in politics. Because, I mean, we've never voted on the Koch brothers, but they've ran politics for the last 40 years. We haven't had an election to vote them into anything, but they decide who's going to be elected, not the people. And the point is that they are, and I'm not just singling them out, but there's 7 different families. The Cargill family, and I can go through the list of them that most people don't even know. They run politics, always have, always will. And the point is that McDonald's is an in-case user, because, and we talking about they move that propaganda, they actually put that on particular different communities. It's for a reason, to consistently feed people into the mill and the hamster wheel of pharmaceutical companies, so that they can continually prescribe, so that they can continually control health care, and they can do things like cut Medicare, cut benefits. They can control the collective and the population, and so that they can actually make them do whatever they need them to do by how they fund them and control their health care. If everybody's healthy, then healthcare doesn't matter, and that's that much less control that the people in charge have over the population, and they have always been the minority. But I was just wondering whether that's something that you thought about.
So, I mean, I guess that I mean, are we assuming that we should just boast? My question is, if we don't control politics, then why the fuck are we on the side? Why y'all vote? Why are we voting? Like, for me, I just find it to be interesting that we will love the legislation when we think it's for us, but when it's something that's against us, we'll be put in a position where we're like, oh, we don't control it anyway. It's like, no, we get to have the conversation because I want people, specifically minorities, to understand that we have a power of choice. I get to choose to never spend my motherfucking dollars with McDonald's ever again. I get to choose, now that I see that they're actively going against people who look like me, not to invest in my own people's murders. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. But we don't have enough discussions about what is happening at a corporation level. We have more discussions about who's Democrat and Republican. And for me, I don't give a fuck who's in office because they don't benefit me regardless, okay? Nothing that is in both sides has impacted me as an individual. Can I say it impacted me? Well, I don't know. But, you know, I do agree with you that corporations are problematic, but I think that we need to, the same way we organize when we see somebody being racist against an individual, we have to keep that same energy when people are being racist or sexist or in the system, which is problematic, right? So, like I said, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be both ways. You know, Americans, we need to hold ourselves accountable for how we show up in companies that, you know, consistently kill us. And then we also have to also hold ourselves accountable for how we show up for, or how we speak to. Because for me, going forward, I will never publicly say that I support anybody. Nobody will ever know what as a black gay person, you will never hear me support any side of anything. I will never put my emotional currency just because we see how that impacts, and no matter what side you're on, you're going to be fucked. Okay, so I think that we just need to kind of open up the floor for longer conversations about, and not debates. Let's do facts, because, you know, I know that sometimes we have it in here, but there's sometimes we get so deep where people want to debate things, and it's just like, I want to give you my opinion. I'm sorry, your opinion is not valid when people are dying. No, fuck your opinion. People are dead because of these decisions. So let's just have the angle, like, if I'm saying shit like there's no clean water, it's like, well, there's clean water where I live. Congratulations. But you're not the only person that is in the place, because guess what? If it can happen to them, it can happen to you too. I'm gonna, like, if anybody else wants to speak.
I just wanted to say, you know, to a couple points of what you were saying. You know, power is you know, a part of the conversation, and having power is a part of the conversation until it's time to take accountability. Then when it's time to take accountability, you have people who will do exactly like you said. They'll relinquish certain powers, and they'll like, well, you know, that doesn't apply to me. And so when you're like, you know, we should be able to open the space for more conversations. Yes, but who's willing to come to the platform? Who's willing to harness that power and take accountability and put in the work? Because it's okay to say a whole bunch of shit, but we all know that action speaks louder than words. Like, what are we talking about? We know that actions speak louder than words, and you just have a lot of people who come to the platform with a lot of opinions versus solutions. And so these conversations get diluted, and they get put on the back burner because the people who are the
Matrix.
Angel, we can't hear you, honey.
Would you describe yourself as the gay Malcolm X or the gay Martin Luther King?
I'm gonna say this concrete. I'm gonna separate myself from responding to the rest of this conversation because I realize that I'm very aggressive for you, and I don't want you to feel like you're being bullied. So I'm gonna just successfully bow out because I can't control how I speak on how animated I am just because I am black. So I'm just gonna ignore you. But I want to say this because it's important, and I'm gonna shut up for the rest of the conversation. As a man in this country, you don't get to sit back and talk about you. Period. You don't get to do that. You don't get to that. You don't get to call yourself a man, and the aspect of what a man is connected specifically to community, and just say that I have. You don't get to do that. You don't. I think this is why there's such a big problem with this essence of absorbing and keeping patriarchy. You don't get to, hate the system or love the system and then say I, or love politics or support a different group of people and then go back to I. No, it doesn't work that way, period. So I just want to put that out there just so that we know, like, you cannot call yourself a man, but, bring I when there's community issues. That's my opinion.
You know what? Oh, go ahead, too cute. I'm sorry, I've been talking.
I just wanted to add to the conversation about, of course, the food goals. And when you was talking about Big Pharma, the PACs, the politics and things like that, it is one aspect of it, but it goes a little higher. I don't have the document on me now. I don't. It's a document that the World Health Organization, FDA, CDA, with Big Pharma. America is one big petri dish. We are science experiments. 40 of our foods is banned. Well, it's more than 40, but they're banned in other countries because of what's put in it. And the person who's supposed to regulate that are all in cahoots with Big Pharma, which is the World Health Organization, the CDC, and the FDA. And they all signed it's a contract for them working together. I don't have it on me. It is out there, so I know you guys probably like receipts and stuff. It is out there. I don't have it on me now, but it's way bigger than them just paying the politicians off to I didn't say CDA, the CDC, the Centers of Disease Controls and Prevention. The FDA is what I actually said.
We know who you meant, girl.
Okay, I'm just reading the chat too. I'm reading the chat as well. But it's deeper than that because everybody knows what the diet does, the side effects of it and everything, and they're supposed to have the last say, like, no, that's not okay, don't do that. But if you're in the pocket with the people that's poisoning us, no matter who we vote for, we're still screwed. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But, also, too, we have to talk about, like, the element of buying into our own demise, right, in this conversation as well. Being privy on, who doesn't have our best interest, right, at the forefront of the economy. Like, there's so many folds to this conversation, but when you have, a collective amount of people only taking a certain glance and through a certain lens, again, like I mentioned before, these conversations become diluted because you don't have people, bringing the core elements to the front of the conversation so people can really actually have that food for thought, actually be able to start to digest some of the realities. You feel me?
I am very familiar with that, what you said, Chef. I just wanted to say I'm familiar with that document.
And it's called the Freedom of Information Act. It's on the computer. I don't work for Big Pharma or anything of that nature, or a scientist. I don't understand the I don't even care. But yeah, it is out there for your information.
I'm familiar with that, Chef. I'm very familiar with that document, and there's some documentation on the World Health Organization, how that actually goes. And people often don't want to have that conversation because that's inconvenient. When it's inconvenient, doesn't play into America first. We're the big dogs on the campus. We run everything. It makes people uncomfortable. When the truth of the matter is, we have the worst health and food infrastructure of the civilized world. We are the worst of all. We have the worst system that there is, and literally other other civilized countries or developed countries actually look to what happens here to determine what they're not going to do in their country. And that benefits globally. It's not just the United States. That benefits everyone globally on a global, on a global, and that makes Americans very uncomfortable because we love to wrap ourselves in the blanket of we're the best, we're the number one, and actually what we lead, number one, is infant mortality. We lead in people that are incarcerated. We lead in all the things that we don't want to lead in, but we don't lead in any of the things that we claim that we do. And that's sad, but it makes people uncomfortable. I generally don't have that conversation because people get up in arms and they start yelling, "We're America, we're the best," blah, 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 blah. But yeah, to your point, all of that documentation exists, but unfortunately, as Americans, we probably won't read it. And when we read it, we probably won't believe it. And just me personally, and I'll land here, my thought process to what Aaron was saying and some other people were saying, I don't spend the only place I spend my money is places where I own something. Like I buy the tires that I buy because I own stock in a company. Buy the cars that I buy because I own stock in a company. I encourage, and I've spent the last 20 years teaching people how to do that. You vote with your dollars, you vote with your money, and you require companies to pay you back and put money back in your pocket. Most people don't want to do that. That seems complicated. So, you know what? I help the people that want to be helped. The people that don't want to be helped, oh well, I can't help them.
But that's because you got the education for it. And sometimes a lot of people are not educated. I guess some people don't get it. But I think that everybody at least deserves to hear simple things, like in this room specifically, including yourself. You didn't know that they was building these data centers that were killing people. So sometimes it's important to hear because they.
Hold on, how are data centers killing people?
I put it out many times. I put it in the chat. You can just scroll up and look for it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm so glad you said that, GA, because it is so true, and the degree of obstinance that people have to hearing actual facts is alarming. Like, everything that you said was true, probably with the exception of hospitals used to be the most advanced if you can't afford them, but COVID kind of killed that. And if I say that over 80% of the people who were hospitalized for COVID weren't vaccinated, people start windmilling. But it's an actual fact, and it overburdened our system like crazy. So it's like, if you don't believe in science, stay out of the damn hospital and let the rest of the people go.
I think that right there is why people aren't receptive to certain messages, is the way that they're conveyed is so, what's the word, nigristic, that it makes it repulsive, even if it was true, even if it was helpful.
Is that an actual word, or am I missing something?
It is a word that I just used, and I think you understand what it means.
Oh, I don't understand at all. I actually communicate for a living and pay for it. So
Can you infer the meaning from my statement? Maybe from context clues?
I could. I just asked if it was a word or not. I guess maybe it's your word. And if you're, since we're talking about
word, and I think you can understand from the context what I mean by it. And yeah, bro.
Yeah, I can't understand it all. You got the wrong one. So somebody that's at your level.
Well, look the fucking word up and stop trying to argue with the brother, please.
It's not a fucking word, so you stop interjecting.
Wait, so why'd you ask if it was a word if you think it's not a word?
Right, because he wanted to argue.
Because I thought you may have known something that I didn't, but I was wrong.
Am I allowed to make words up or no?
All words are.
You can do whatever you want.
All right, thank you.
And Ion, oh, he's gone. That's the answer to his question about why not bring up facts, because it's irrelevant.
You like black people? Madison? Exactly.
I'm not even gonna honor that with an answer. If you don't know, then you don't know.
Uh-oh. Here comes the truth.
I don't want to assume. So
Incoming.
that's why I asked you.
You don't have to assume. Look it up. Google me. You'll see if I like black people or not.
I don't know who you are, man. I'm sorry.
Of course you don't.
She only like queer black people, brother. It's okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm bona fide enough to use my real name, that's for sure. I don't hide behind PTRs and made up.
All right. This is the internet. I want to hide behind the Haitian. So, as the Haitian, I'm going to tell the truth. And ain't nothing y'all can do about it except remove me from the room because I'm in the sanctity of my own home and I get to get away with saying all type of egregious and offensive things. Right? But that are true. That's the important part, right? I say those things that are offensive, but they're all true. I guarantee you. I promise you. I will tell the truth, right? Because we live in a world where everybody hates the truth, right? Damn near everybody that is. So, what we talking about? We talking about Trump? What we talking about? We talking about Elon? What we talking about? What bill just passed?
We weren't talking about any of that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wrong room. We weren't talking about any of that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll ping you in the next time we have a Trump conversation in a space that I'm in, okay? But we weren't talking about Trump or Elon. We actually were talking about this, the circular hand-holding that goes on with the systems and the profiteering that has happened in this country over decades. Actually, Ion brought up the data centers and AI and how they're poisoning the water. And we were just talking about that, and I was getting his opinion on it. That's what we were talking about.
Well, you know, here's the thing, man. Some things are just bigger than us, right? Corruption in the world is a very real thing, right? Like, it's our job to just move around. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, there's so much trouble in the world. We can't be burdened with all of the world's problems, right? You drive yourself crazy thinking that, like, any one person can fix all the fucked up things that mankind has done to this world, much less this country, right? Like, you're not going to be the one that's going to teach police officers a lesson. Not you specifically, I'm saying like the general speaking you, right? You're not going to be the one, the universal you. You're not going to be the one to end police brutality, make white people have a heart, make the system realize, hey, you know what? We really fucked over these people real decent. We probably should not do this. This shit has been here way before any of us were even born, bro. It'll be here way after we're dead in our fucking casket. And that's the harshest fucking truth that any one person could ever come to realize. Now go ahead and tell me who's offended by that.
No, nobody's offended. You want somebody to be offended. Actually,
I ain't gonna lie, I do want y'all to be offended. I'll try. Hey, Thug, hey, how you doing? You got me, bro. Hey,
right.
Yeah, shit, man.
You even want somebody to even give a fuck about what you say. But the ultimate reality is that, yes, you do.
No, I don't. Because I don't even give a fuck about what I say.
I know you don't. That's why you cut people off, come in every room, and interrupt everything, and just come to
this internet shit is entertainment, bro. This is entertainment.
Right, it's entertainment to cut people off.
You think that I think that y'all gonna actually listen to me or some shit? Like, y'all gonna have an epiphany and say, you know what? The Haitian have
somebody actually knows you in society on this app and says, oh, no, I know that dude live right down here. Oh, that's where you live at. Then somebody meets you at that conversation when you're in the barbershop or when you go to Home Depot and punches all of your teeth out, then you won't call the cops.
You already know what I'm gonna do. Why you acting like you don't know? Like, of course, man. Listen, I'm in the safety of my home. I'm screaming nanny boo boo on the internet because nobody on here, right, can do anything about anything that I said. Right? Yeah, you can't do anything. The only thing you can do is just take everything that I spew on this motherfucking internet shit. And then I hit leave quietly and I go right back into my cubicle. That's the way this internet shit works, bro. You're not supposed to internalize none of this shit. You think that I actually think y'all gonna wake up one day, bro? I do be working sometimes. I mean, I'm at work right now.
I thought you said you collect. All right.
You told me you
I lied. It's the internet. I lied.
You told me
I lied.
Unemployment, bro.
I lied. Okay, all right.
But wait, my nigga had you screaming in his room.
Who?
And you missed your job interview, bro. You don't remember that?
Well, yeah, that's what I told them. I mean, I was lying then. But y'all just ain't clever enough to figure it out, right?
Again, you said you was at your job. Wait, then you said you was at your job. Then you said that you own your own business. And some people contract you to clean their house.
I lied about that. No, I don't. Well, fuck it. I'll say I clean houses. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about this shit. Yeah, I clean houses. Fuck. This is the internet, man. None of this shit is for real. None of this shit is real, bro. None of it. This is the advantage I have over y'all. Y'all really think this shit is real. I know this shit. Listen, you guys are all figments of my imagination, right? You all are my make-believe friends from like the Toy Story or some shit, bro. Like, you think I actually think that y'all gonna wake up one day and realize, hey, some of the shit that he be saying, I probably should try to apply to real life. You think I actually think that? I just be talking, bro. This is a talking app, bro. I just be talking, bro. Don't take anything that I say. Listen.
If you actually wanted people to wait,
believe me. Okay, all right, fuck it. Believe me.
Shit, nigga, shut up. Damn, nigga. I'm saying, bro.
Are you upset? Are you upset?
That's just how I talk. But look, I'm just telling you, bro. If you want people to actually believe you on what the fuck you saying, right, my nigga? Cause you cool, you alright. And I don't take this shit serious. But if you wanted people to take you serious on this shit, stop lying.
Why do you think that I would tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth on the internet,
you ain't gotta tell people exactly what you got going on.
No, bro. Listen, I learned from the white man. I lie, bro.
You don't have to tell people exactly what you got going on.
Listen, this is what I'm telling you, man. I lie. I get on the internet. I lie, bro. I'm telling you, I'm lying. I tell you I'm lying, and you still don't want to believe me. This is crazy.
Send that nigga to the moon, bro. I'm gonna pay you like $20. Send him to the moon.
Dirty salvation. Oh, man. Yo. Ay. Whew. Hey, man. Hey, listen, for this entertainment right here, man, this is why I canceled my Netflix, man, and my Disney Plus. Yeah. I canceled Hulu. This shit here better. This is better than, this shit better than all the Paramount Pictures channels. Yeah, man, this shit it, man.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What's your take on the Secure 2.0 Act and the Genius Act that they just passed January 27th? June 27th. What do you think about it?
I don't know. What's the Genius Act? What is that? I don't know.
Genius Act is the act that they actually passed June 27th. It's to actually regulate stablecoins. It's to regulate stablecoins and actually.
Yeah, I heard about that, man. We part of a crypto group. Yeah, man, I had heard about that, man. It's awesome, man.
Did you guys hear the Diddy verdict? They found the verdict for 4 out of the 5 charges.
What was the verdict?
They haven't released it yet because the judge won't accept a partial verdict. It's on all the news stations right now.
Oh, that's interesting. No, but
how do you come up with a partial verdict, TC?
Well, he was found. He just said they found a verdict for 4 out of the 5. They want a verdict on all of them.
Has it been unanimous? That's a partial verdict, and it's not unanimous.
And they were having an issue with one particular juror. I remember they had one issue with the juror, like saying that he wouldn't cooperate or some shit. Probably Diddy done made threats to his family or some shit. Wouldn't that be a bitch?
There was a female that was being problematic when Cassie was testifying in, and when the rebuttal witness came up, she was real. You could just tell in her face that the way she was going to vote, but they had pulled her for that as well. But that's supposed to be one of these types of trials.
So y'all really think that's far-fetched though, that they would, reach out to to make threats to the jurors' families and things like that, like in the movies? Y'all think it's far?
No. Do it in Chicago all the time. My friend got killed that way.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a kingpin, shit, hey, listen, I'm, making all type of signals in the courtroom, letting you know, if you convict me, this was going to go a certain type of way. Hey, listen, so are we above being bought out and like being compromised? Like, I know I'm not. I'm corrupt like a mother. I'm corrupt like the police, man. Shit, I know I'm a fucked up individual out here in this world, man. I be doing everything the fuck that benefits me. Yeah, there's people out here. This is the harsh reality, right? You guys in the chat. There are people in this world that don't have the moral compass that you have. You know that, right? You know this world is really corrupt for real, right? Like, you understand that the police station, all in the state departments, right? The school system. Y'all know this shit all set, like, it's all rigged, right? Like, it's why I say, like, the best you could do in this society, and I'm gonna land, right, is just move in accordance with what the fuck bullshit is going on. You're not gonna be the one to change this shit, bro. You're not gonna be the one. You'll die trying.
Sometimes you don't have to really change. You can plant a seed. This is
I'm willing to wager that most people that get into politics, they go into it like sincerely from the bottom of their heart. They go into it, then I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do, and then what happened?
I think you go into politics thinking that way because it ain't never been that way from inception. But I think the problem is we all have adopted that every man for themselves policy. So it's all about me and my bag and doing me and getting me and fuck the next person. And that's where the world is now. So
it's going to be like that regardless, though.
No, I know that. I'm just saying it's more people who follow that doctrine now than it was before. It used to take a village to raise the child. Now it's like there's no village anymore.
I agree with that.
Every man for themselves type situation is why it's worse now than when it was.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
But I still hold faith out that I don't have to change the world. I do have to change the people that I'm around, change how they see the world, how they move and operate in this world. It starts at home first. If you're not teaching your kids how to move and operate, they get out here and become just a part of the problem as what you're complaining about. So I still, like I said, it all comes full circle eventually. But we got to start taking accountability for our lack of when it comes to not giving a fuck about our neighbors anymore, not caring about how our neighborhoods look or what's going on in it. We used to care about that. We don't give a fuck no more.
But can you imagine being the one person on the whole police force that's trying to like change some shit, and you got the whole department, you got the whole police force like not trying to do the shit you're the black sheep.
Picture me being the only person at the bus stop every morning in the wintertime, making sure all the kids have on coats and cereal bars and things like that. So yeah, I do know exactly how it fucking feels to be the only person out there trying to do something, and everybody else is sitting on their ass.
Yeah, but like even with like the people who are like in the school system, like the superintendents and all that, like after a while you get worn down and you just say fuck it, it's.
That's
like,
in every aspect. That's
what I'm saying. Everything corrupt out here, man. There ain't no change.
You gotta know when to leave.
Man, the people you trying to help out, they be the ones that fuck you over though.
We hand them the knives. Yeah, we hand them the knives. I feel like I'm still not gonna change who I am and what I'm doing because of a couple of motherfuckers. Because then that deters. There's somebody out there that's next in line for help or anything of that nature, and I just say fuck it. It's all about me now because of a couple of people. I have to start picking and choosing more wisely who I do things for, who I look out for. You know what I'm saying? Don't just let the corruption corrupt you as well. Yeah, I'm not the bad guy, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to do anything about it. It's like instead of helping a person out that's getting attacked, instead of helping them, you put out yourself on record. Like we're doing stupid shit now.
Yeah, that shit sound good, man. But not, you know, I just don't see it.
I sleep good at night. Don't know about everybody else.
A lot of wicked people sleep good at night. I don't know why y'all think that wicked people be having nightmares and shit like that. Like they don't sleep good at night. A lot of people sleep good as fuck at night.
I didn't mention them at all because they don't compute on my radar. I give a fuck less about them. As long as they're not messing with my 3 L's, they can do them. My 3 L's. And they did put in the chat that it was another room started. I don't know what it's about.
And then there were 3.
Hey, shit, you killed the room, bro.
Wasn't nobody else talking. Shit, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. People about to get ready for dinner. Including myself in a minute, shit.
What you finna cook?
No, we already had asparagus and some chicken wings and shit. Mushrooms. And then there were 2. You might as well go ahead and boom this shit, man, cause shit. Oh shit, wait, Harold just came on stage. Don't nobody wanna come up on this shit, talk their shit?
Peace. I thought the conversation was still going on from earlier. Y'all was reading a big, beautiful bill. I saw the room still open. Y'all gonna close down?
Yeah, they probably gonna boom this shit. What is this bill? I don't know what the fuck this bill is.
Well, the gentleman by the name of Lou, he was reading it, and you know everybody was just kind of giving their commentary. You might have to go back and listen to the replay, or just go online and see if you can find the new updated modified version of the bill, and just kind of read it for yourself. It'll tell you exactly what you need to know. But I found it so astounding because. I'm only speaking on black people, number one, because I'm black and I'm concerned for my people. Earlier, when the brother was reading the bill, what I found to be so alarming yet astounding was that even though he didn't necessarily agree with the bill, he at least still had the mental fortitude and objectivity to simply read it and learn what it says. Even if you don't agree with it, he was still able to sit there and read it for everybody and just understand, like, hey, even though we might not agree with what was going on, let's just read it so we can be informed and know what's going on. Why? Because we don't need to be in the dark. And yet there were a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of, there was a couple of people. There was one young lady, her name by the name of Chaotic. She kept over talking and yelling and interrupting and like talking out of turn and being belligerent and aggressive. And it's like, ma'am, why? For what? Like we're just saying, nobody's taking a side about it. We're simply reading it and we're understanding what's going on. Why is that so bad? So let me yield there. But that's all. I guess that's all I wanted to say. If you were given the space for people to speak.
Yup, so out of the loop at this point, I just figured like y'all gonna figure out how to do whatever the fuck y'all wanna do, cause shit, man, I don't own this country, I don't own this shit, like, I don't know. Alright guys, I gotta go to my kids, it's 5 o'clock, I gotta go to my kids. So, I don't know if y'all gonna boom this shit, wait. There's only, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and boom this shit, man. I'm gonna catch y'all ass some other time. Let's see how the fuck you end this shit again. Yeah. And here it is. Dirty South Haitian, man. I'll see y'all.
Coming with significant others, wives, girlfriends, whatever the case may have been, children, that all rejected this truth. But the only thing that we can do to show them a better example on how to live a godly life is to do it ourselves. We gotta walk the walk first. But that's not gonna be a guarantee that they're still gonna come in. Because, you don't know. The Lord may never put it on his spirit to actually. The only thing you are in control of is what? Your own actions. Right?
Yeah. And then I have an 18-year-old daughter as well. And, he was helping me to kind of help her. And, he got upset with me because I told her she couldn't come to the gym with me anymore unless she wore a skirt. And, he was like kind of like reprimanding me because I said, it's an abomination. And he said, how could you call her an abomination? I'm like, that's not what I meant. I meant wearing a skirt and so he was like, oh, he's very defensive about his sister. And she doesn't live with me either. So it's kind of hard, because they were like all I had,
Well, guess what, guys? When you go into the school, there's a bunch of little sisters in there that need guidance. It's a bunch of young girls that need help, and they want help. The scripture says what we lost, we're gonna gain 100-fold. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose kids. We're gonna lose, daughters. We're gonna lose sons. It's gonna happen. And that's the. Give me that second address 7 and I think 56. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Second address 7.
I think it's hold on, let me find it real quick. I think it's 56. That's it. 57. 56. Start at 56. 57.
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
Right, that's all of us. That's me, you, our kids, everybody. We lived in a way that wasn't right, and we never really thought that it was consequences for it. Read.
Then answered he me, and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Right, this is your fight that you gotta fight right here. It's gonna be your kids. You're gonna have to fight it. That's the condition of the battle. Me and my wife, we had to fight that fight. With our son. And a lot of people had to fight that fight with their kids, their family members, their mothers, fathers, whatever. But that's the condition of the battle. That's the fight that we in. We gotta fight, our personal issues, family issues, and congregational issues. That's the fight that we're gonna have to fight until we end this earth. And we just can't be weary in it. Give me that Sirach 2, verse 1. It's gonna be tough. That's why we have the Sabbath day. That's why we have these feast days. That's why we have all of this. So while we're trying to fight that fight, we're not fighting it alone.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
You gotta prepare, Find out this great news of who we are, what God requires of us, we find it, and then next thing you know, we get hit with a lump here, a lump there, a lump there. Where we tempted to say, this ain't for me, I'm gonna do something else. The scriptures say you gotta prepare yourself for that temptation. Read.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
Constantly endure meaning it's things that's gonna happen to where you're gonna have to put it back in perspective and move in the right spirit. I mean, things gonna keep happening over and over and over again. Everything gonna be good one day, then after that, then the next day, everything ain't good. So you're gonna have to constantly endure, meaning you're gonna be faced with trials daily. That's why, you know, you see Paul say, I died daily. Why? Because it was something that he had to deal with every single day, whether it was his personal sins, you know, the sins dealing with his family sins. You gotta think about it. Paul was a Pharisee, right? He was a Pharisee of the Pharisees. You think they didn't have other people that had been knowing him his whole life? That's like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you following Jesus? You know, we used to be, me and you, we used to go kill these Jews. Now all of a sudden, you want to be, you know, you want to be a Christ follower? You following this? We used to put them to death, right? Then you got to deal with congregational trials, and we read about that. How you had to deal with Corinth, the Galatians. You had to deal with all these different trials all over again, right? You know, to the point to where he was like, I'm not even getting married. He's like, because I'm not trying to deal with that issue with kids and whatever, with all the stuff I'm dealing with. I'm trying to just deal with the Lord right now, the Lord's business, right? So you're going to have to deal with that. That's what we're going to have to go through, you know, and it is what it is, you know, but that's the condition of the battle, you know, and I know it's hard, especially if, you know, they was all you got, this and that, but that's why we have a body, that's why we have never by ourselves, you know. I don't know what school you congregate with?
Atlanta.
Okay, so that's a huge school. So it's always something to do there. It's always something.
I love my family.
Something, right? So that's what you got to do. You have to come to the realization that the only person you have a say over if they repent or not is you. You know, that's it. Give me that in Ezekiel real quick.
14:20.
That's it. So no words in it.
Yeah. Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 20. Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord God, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
Right. All you can do is deliver your own soul through your righteousness. You can't live a righteous life for your son is gonna make it, or your daughter's gonna make it. You can only deliver yourself, and they can only deliver themselves. Right? You know, some people use the scripture and they'll say, well, it ain't no Jesus, remember, because Christ can't die for somebody else. That's not what the scripture talking about. You know, just talking about as individuals, we are accountable for our own sins. Christ died, so we have the opportunity to repent, right? But through Christ dying, you still have to do the work yourself. And that's the only thing you can worry about. You know, when you step back and you think about it as a bigger picture, right? When you think about, we done been on this earth before, we done came back, we got a soul that's done came back on this earth before, you're just in a body. You start thinking about it, them ain't your kids. You know? If you really start to think about it, them ain't our kids, you know?
It was just painful because, you know, like he started coming with me, I was putting fringes on all his clothes, and he was like, yeah, that's so right, Mom. Like, you know, it's true what you're saying about the pastor. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This sounds more like the truth. And, you know, and then one day when we were coming home, he was just like, you know, well, how do you know that everything that, you know, then he just like flipped on me like all of a sudden. And
well, that's because he's unclean when it comes to you and his father. You know, his father is like, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And then he's hearing that, and that's where the doubt comes in, right? Sometimes people got to experience life. They're going to have to experience life. You know, they're going to have to go through stuff themselves before they realize that's just the way it is, you know. Some people, they say, like, it's no such thing as discrimination and this and that. It's like, okay. Well, matter of fact, go buy a brand new car, and park it in front of the door with your new job, and you tell me if there's any such thing as discrimination. Let your coworkers know where you live at, the nice big neighborhood, nice big house you live in, you know, the swimming pool, gated community, and find out if it's a thing as racism or not. Sometimes people got to go and bump their head and figure it out for themselves, you know, and that's why it says, you know, when they're older, they want to part, because they may leave, and then they start to figure out, this ain't the way. This ain't working. You know, the thing about us is we already lived that life, and we already know there's nothing else out there better for us. We know the choices that we got. We know what's there and what's not there. So we already know this. So we like, nah, this ain't what I want to do. I don't want to live like that no more. It's not worth it. We already know this. The kids don't know it. They're like, so you mean to get the dad probably saying like, so what? You're not about to do this no more. You ain't about to do that no more. You ain't about to, you know, have this and that. And he's thinking like, dang, you know, it was right. So you can't be worried about that. All you can do is pray. And I tell people, you know, sometimes you got to make sure you're praying for the right thing. Because, you know, a lot of times we pray, oh, I pray that they wake up. I pray the Lord shows him the way and this and that. Sometimes, read Hosea chapter 5, verse 15.
Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15.
Put some life in your voice, read it.
Yes, sir. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So, sis, how God said, what's going to make us seek the Lord?
Our affliction.
Our affliction. Sometimes you got to pray that they go through the ringer. Sometimes that you got to pray that they go through so much stuff, the only path they see is the path of the righteousness. You know, sometimes you got to ask the Lord, hey, look, hey, afflict them. Put your affliction on him, so he got to turn to the Lord, because that's the thing. Everybody know this. Before we were believers, you know, we wasn't calling upon the Lord until we was going through something. And then when everything was good, we didn't know who God was. God? What you mean God? I'm the one that got this promotion. I got this. I'm the reason why I'm making this much money, because of the work that I'm putting in. This, that, and the other. And then soon as you get a review, and something happening, they're like, we about to start downsizing, and all of a sudden you know God again. Lord, I know you was the one that got me here, and if you was to, you know, help me out in my time of trouble, then, you know, I'm going to make sure, and we go to God. So sometimes we got to pray for stuff like that. You know, the scriptures say we ask what we ask amiss. You know, we want stuff to just be good and great and bubbles and hot air balloons and teddy bears, and that's not what God say the thing that's gonna bring us to, you know, is that affliction. That's why he put us through these curses. He put us through these curses, so we like, man, this is not the way to go. I don't want to go through this. Some people like being slaves, you know. You see all those slave movies where people told, you know, some people like being a slave. Sometimes we gotta go through affliction to get us to turn to the Lord. So that's all I can say. You know, I mean, you can't let it stop you from getting into the kingdom. Because like I said, them not your kids. Some kids belong to the Lord. You know, they just like with you. And, you know, I don't know if your parents still alive, but, you know, if they are, they probably saying to themselves, I don't know what made her decide to change and start doing this and follow this code and this, that, and the other. I wish that she don't want to keep Christmas with us in this. You know, they saying the same thing you saying.
They are.
Exactly. They saying the same thing, and you had to make your decision, right?
I did. I got my dad to stop eating pork. And then my mom came from behind, like, she don't know what she's talking about. Pork is the healthiest food out there. I'm like, Mom, it doesn't have anything to do with that. So what I'm saying, sis, is that he gotta make his decision just like you made your decision. Yes, sir.
You know, and you can't. What you gonna do? You gonna sit around and cry all day? You know, you gonna be like that woman on 12 Years a Slave sitting outside the house just crying?
Leave me alone.
That's how I feel.
Cry. Like you can't, because you know what? That's gonna, sorrow of the heart can bring death.
Yeah, for the past year, that's how I've been. Because
you can't be like that. You're supposed to be in the joy of the Lord, sis. You don't find out you're an Israelite, that Christ only died for you, and you sitting around here sad. You can't worry about that. It may be in the books for your kids not to make it. And you got to be okay with that. Just like you okay with you being an Israelite and Christ only died for you. You okay with that? We got to be okay with everything. And that's our test. Right? That's the battle that we in right now. And that it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to just shake it off and say it is what it is. I understand. I get it. It sucks. It sucks. Because with kids, sometimes you love your kids more than you love yourself. I'm sure most people know what I'm talking about if you got kids. But it is what it is. We gotta take the good and the bad of this whole thing. Because it could, even if you wasn't an Israelite, you can still deal with a kid that want to live their life a certain type of way. And you got to deal with it. Ain't nothing you can do. You gonna sit around and cry all day? There's nothing you can do. Everybody gonna have to live their life just like you had to live your life, just like I had to live my life. We all got to make our decisions. So just like what we read before, you just have to be that example. You can't be a hypocrite. You up here, you saying, yeah, I repented, but then you come over to the house and you can smell weed. I repented. He drive by and he see your ex-boyfriend car in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? He can't look. You can't be a hypocrite in his eyes. He got to be able to, when he looking at what he dealing with, what he doing, the people he around, and then he see you. He got to see a princess that's living in accordance with God's law, statutes, and commandments. That's what he got to see every time he see you. So he can be mad all he wants. He got to be like, but you know what? My man's doing what the Bible say do. And then when he ready to make a pivot, he want to pivot your way. But if you're a hypocrite, you ain't no different than everybody else. You just don't have as much fun as they do in his eyes. It's like, oh yeah, she's just the same as the Christian church, but at least I get to go to the club on Friday night. She the same as the Christian church, but at least I get to smoke weed. I can get drunk. I can mess with all these different women, So if you're a hypocrite, you're not helping. So just make sure you do what you're supposed to do, and everything else gonna be the Lord's will. The Lord gonna take care of everything else.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, don't be down, sitting around sad all day. You know what I'm saying? You single?
Yes.
You want to get married again?
Yes.
Who want to marry a woman that's sad all day?
Facts.
Nobody. So you better live the joy of the Lord. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, read verse 45.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Verse 47 is what I want.
Or verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
Yeah, because you didn't serve the Lord with joyfulness and with gladness of heart. Right? We got to make sure we remember that. We got to serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness of heart. We can't let the ills of the world take that away from us, because we deserve it. Everything that we're going through, we deserve it and worse. Right? So because they didn't want to serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness of heart, we ain't these curses. Guess what? We can't do the same thing. Keep reading.
For the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right. So we serving our enemies because we didn't want to serve the Lord in joyfulness and gladness of heart. So don't fall into that. Don't fall into that. You got to be happy. Because at the end of the day, you could still think you a Gentile and doing the same stuff that your kids want to do. And then you can have all the fun in the earth, and they still turn their back on you. You know, never want to talk to you again for something, and then at the end of the day, you don't even get salvation. So you better be happy.
I usually am, you know, when I'm around my sisters at the school, I'm really, really happy. It's just when I'm home and I've spoiled them so they come over anytime they want, and they're just like, we lost our mom. That's what they say.
You gotta shut that door. You gotta create. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, when I went through that with my son, my wife, I applaud my wife because she set up boundaries and barriers. I thought it was gonna be like she was gonna be like you. I thought she was gonna be like you. You know, unhappy, sad, this and that. Nah, she was the one that was like, hey, look, check this out. You got this the calendar. You got until this day right here, and you got to get the hell up out of here. I'm sitting here like, I thought I was gonna have to be the one to put the smoke down. Nah, she was like, she's like, I ain't about to have this. I ain't about to live this kind of life. I'm not about to have it. You ain't about to be over here. Now she was sad. You know, I'm not gonna say she was just jumping out the box happy. She was sad about what was going on. She loved her son, loved him to death. But at the end of the day, she loved God more. You know, and it hurt her to her heart to do all this, but she did it. You know, and she set her boundaries. Like, you just can't just be coming up in here, coming over here. You need to wash your clothes, this and that. Like, no, this is the life you choose. You know, figure it out.
All praises. Thank you.
So, yeah, you got to do it, sis. You got to set boundaries. They can't just come in and impose their sinful lifestyle on you to where it make it hard for you to detach, so you can be happy. But they don't care about you being happy.
They said they want their mom back. That all I talk is IUIC and all I talk is.
They want you to be in sin with them so they can feel good about their sin. Like, this is who I am. You know, this is who you are. You gotta be like, I still am your mom. You know, I just want better for myself. I want to live the way the Bible tells me to live. That's that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because all that's doing, you know, like the scriptures say, even in Proverbs, is it 12:26?
Yes, sir. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them.
All you're doing is getting seduced. That's it. The more and more and more you hang around, all it is just going to seduce you. And when you're going through a trial, it's just going to make it that much easier for you to walk away from the truth, for you to walk away from the scriptures. It make it that much easier. You got to set boundaries for yourself, you know. And then while you at home, hey, you know, that's women different than men. Men, we gonna find something to do with each other. We gonna hang out. You know, we go to camp, we do this, we do that. Y'all sisters gotta figure something out. So y'all ain't just sitting in the house. Well, how that song was, I'm getting tired of being tired of your ways. Haven't come home or even call me. Y'all gotta figure something out.
Sing it,
Sitting around waiting on you, cause staring at these walls is all I do. That's y'all sisters to be like that. I'm sitting, baby. Chicken. Y'all gotta figure something out. Y'all gotta go hang out together. Y'all gotta work out. Y'all gotta start sewing. Pick up a hobby. Learn how to make dresses. Learn how to make garments. You know, take a cooking class. Y'all gotta figure something out. Y'all gotta do something to take your mind off the world.
I've done all that. And as a matter of fact, I went to Zumba yesterday and I was crying as I was working out because that's how much it was bothering me. But I think that my sister in the truth telling me to come and, you know, get counseled, that I really appreciate her for that because it's really opened my eyes when you shared these scriptures with me and just, you know.
Yeah, but y'all got to do stuff together. Like, you can't just be out there individual Zumba, you know. Go with the be around. That's the thing that hurt me about women. I don't get it. Y'all need to be around each other. Y'all need each other. You know, because men, we don't understand y'all. We just think y'all crazy. I'm just being honest, you know. These women crazy. That's all. These women crazy. We show up for an event. The women be like, "What am I supposed to do?" What you mean? What you supposed to do? Pick up the phone and call your sisters. Ask somebody to come pick you up, and y'all go hang out.
Do what I'm about to do. Just do it in reverse. Do it with the women. Can you find out what time? No, you find out what time. All y'all sisters be shaloming one another. Shalom, sis. Find out. Figure it out. You know, y'all sisters gotta build some type of sisterhood, camaraderie with each other. So where y'all there for one another, because we don't understand. That's what Titus 2 all about. Read that Titus 2 and 3.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed.
Right. It's all that stuff got to be taught. Y'all got to be around each other to teach it. Y'all got to stop being jealous of one another. Y'all got to stop hating on one another. Y'all got to be there for each other. Y'all got to be, you know, because other sisters done been through this. So y'all got to make sure y'all, you know, hyping each other up. I don't know what they call it now. I'm old. Right? But y'all got to be there for one another. And a lot of times y'all sisters don't do that, and y'all want to be up under y'all man all day. And then when he being around the brothers, then y'all getting y'all feelings about it. He don't love me and this and that. It's like, it's more sisters in the schools than it is men. How can y'all not have something to do?
Right.
It's like, I don't get it. Like, y'all, you got professionals, you got homemakers, you got teachers, you got executives, you got entrepreneurs, you got every facet of sisters in our schools, especially in Atlanta. You gotta be able to fit in somewhere. Y'all, whatever that spirit is that got y'all sisters like that, y'all gotta fight through that.
No, I love my sisters. I just live an hour and 20 minutes away from the school, so that's why. And everybody seems to live far from me. So, but I'll figure it out. I promise.
Yeah, y'all gotta figure it out. Somebody live over there close to you, maybe. I don't know, but y'all gotta figure it out. You know, at least where y'all could be on the phone with each other, on Zoom calls, laughing about stuff. Y'all gotta figure something out. You know, you've been Zoom for crying. You're gonna call the police on you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. They're like, what's wrong with that?
By the way, Judd, I think you're the only thing that stops me from crying throughout the day because I think you are hilarious.
Well,
I'll just say that.
I guess.
You're welcome.
But yeah, y'all gotta figure it out. Y'all gotta figure it out. Y'all gotta do it. Y'all gotta figure it out. Y'all gotta be amongst one another and call one another and be around them. Make sure y'all praying for each other. Y'all talking to each other. You know, y'all be too. Sisters, sometimes y'all just be, I don't know. Y'all be tripping me out. Y'all put y'all purse in the seat next to you, like nobody else about to sit there. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I walk into school and I'll be seeing that and I'll be like, you do know that we're gonna fill up. Why is your purse in the seat?
Right.
Like, that don't make any sense because a sister is gonna walk in the school and she's gonna be looking for a seat and you got your purse in the seat, basically saying, I don't want this seat is for my purse. I'm like, y'all sisters crazy. But whatever, you know. Y'all just, y'all are funny to me. I'm telling you, y'all better unify. Y'all better figure it out. Unify in righteousness. Not no, feminism. Unify in righteousness. How to get stuff done. How to get this, how to get us out of here too.
Yeah.
Folding, platoon.
Hey,
go ahead, man.
Yeah, not to be off topic, but you're real good about getting the tune, man. Now, there's this hand video. This got to be like 3 or 4 years old. This time for us. You was talking to these bees, and you hit played that tune for the Atomic Dog right off. Just as soon as you said it, man, that was fantastic. I'll never forget that.
Wait, what I did? I don't remember.
Some cues in front of you, you was like, I bet if Atomic Dog came on right now, you go crazy. You like,
yeah, I used to want to be a Q until I got checked in the union. And I was like, man, I will beat your ass. You crazy? You ain't gonna talk to me like this. You are in my city. You ain't even from here. And I was like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm definitely not a follower. Not that kind of follower.
Nah, yeah, man, couldn't do it. Couldn't never.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. We wasn't even online. I went to the little stupid informational meetings and stuff. Did what my homeboy told me to do. He's like, yeah, just ask some questions. Just make yourself seen in there. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. And I'm in the union. On Southern University campus. This dude started talking crazy to me. I'm like, what? You want to fight? Like, who are you talking to like that? And they was like, nah, bro, that's on such and such, man. You know, I said, bro, I don't care who that is. This dude crazy. He's from California. He ain't even from Louisiana. He can't gonna talk to me like that. In the city that I was born and raised in. And at that moment, I knew this ain't for me. Like, nah, I'm not about to get paddled by another man. Not happening. I will remain a GDI forever. I don't know, some of y'all that went through that, I don't know how y'all did it, how y'all allowed yourself to get paddled by another man. Who needs to be in a fraternity?
Hey, they was doing worse than that.
He used to be, Solo Styles used to be in a fraternity. I could tell, he seemed like he used to be in a fraternity. You let another man paddle you, Solo? Keep it real.
I was an original friend. I was in the Navy.
Oh, did they paddle you? Didn't they? You had a ride to go, didn't you?
Nah, it ain't right.
Bro,
that ain't right to go. First thing. Well, it's all it is. They
Like
put you
stab
on blanket.
yourself in the chest with don't you gotta cut yourself with a knife and ride a goat?
Nah, all that's just similar to. Now they just do it the right way. Without the guy who does that.
Oh, okay. So they ain't make you ride a goat. You rode a spiritual goat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You was a fake man.
Yeah.
Some dude tried to get me to be a Mason one day. He come to me. He was like, "Are you a traveler, man?" I was like, "Yeah, I travel all over." I ain't know what he was talking about. He was like, "Nah." I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Are you a Mason?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to be that. I'm good, bro." But I was in the truth at this time. But it was funny. But you were a traveling man. A traveling man. It's a weird way to start a conversation. But yeah. I don't know where we was at. But y'all gotta, we gotta be joyful in this truth. No matter all the stuff that we go through, we gotta keep our heads up. All right, go back to Sirach 2. We didn't finish that.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse. You want to start at 1?
Chosen, you said a dude tried to pick you up at the laundromat? What the hell? That ain't that Chosen. What you told him? I am a boy. Go ahead, read that.
Do I start at verse 1?
Yeah, you start back at verse 1.
Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Right, so, and just to be honest with y'all, this not even a hard tribulation right here. Losing a kid and stuff like that, that ain't even a real deal tribulation. Wait until you start losing your house, losing your, your jobs,
losing, wait till that tribulation start coming. Wait till they got you in the back room saying, hey, listen, I want you to go in there, I want you to do this and do that, and make friends with them so we can find out what's going on in their organization. Wait till that tribulation comes. Like, people, be honest with you, like, people stop talking to their kids every day. Right? And that's just the truth of it, especially as black people. We'll stop talking to our parents over nothing. It'll be a spades game disagreement. Like, why y'all don't talk no more? Well, it was December of 1997. And they say I reneged, but I didn't. So I said, I ain't never talking to them again. Like, people don't stop talking to their parents for stuff that don't matter, just to be honest with you. I mean, it's parts of my family I remember we didn't talk to, and I don't even know why we didn't talk to them. I just followed the script. It's like, we don't talk to Dale. Like, why not though? Like, what did they do? You don't ever see them until a funeral, and you don't even know why you don't like them. You a kid, and you just like, your parents don't like them, you don't like them. We don't know why. I don't know what happened. That happened every day in the black family. So, not to downplay it, but I'm just saying it's just the way it is, right? So you got to make sure you constantly endure, and when times of trouble, don't be dismayed. Keep reading.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable mint in the furnace of adversity.
Right. So to refine gold, you gotta burn it. You gotta melt it, and when you melt it, all the dirt rise to the top, and you gotta sift that dirt off. So that's why you're going through what you're going through. The Most High is trying to make sure you worthy of entering into the kingdom. Are you worthy to enter into that rest with Christ? Are you worthy? Or is it you gonna pick your kids over the Lord? Are you gonna pick your job over the Lord? Are you gonna pick your personal finances over the Lord? You trying to see are you worthy? Right? That's the condition of the battle that we in. And it may not seem fair, but if you think that we deserve to be dead, I think it is fair. You know what I'm saying? We the ones, we crucified Christ. We said, free this criminal right here and kill him. That's what we did. We did that. We made that agreement. We the ones that in the wilderness with Moses, we said, hey, all these things we gonna do. And he threw blood on us. He sprinkled blood on us. It's like, okay, bam, that's the agreement, and we broke it. Then we put Christ to death, and we was like, hey, well, put it on us. We did it. Put the blood on us. Hey, Pontius Pilate was like, say less. It's on you. Hey, he said, put it on us and our children. That's what we said. It's like, hey, if we did it and make our kids accountable for this same thing. So we don't deserve the favor that we got. We don't deserve it at all. So it's a fair deal. Like what Lil Wayne said, it's hard, it's cold, but it's fair. It is. It's cold, but it's fair. We deserve far less than this. So we just gotta endure and make the best out of it and just smile. All right, that's all I got. Give me my mic. Oh, we got Ben Chosen up here. Ben Chosen, bro. What's up, bro? Dude was hitting on you at the laundromat.
See, I just came up here just to bring context to the statement.
I heard that that's a place. I just heard that that's a people. Laundromat is the spot.
It has been a lot of R&B video shoots in laundromats for some reason.
Like the Alicia Keys video. But be careful, bro, in the laundromat, man.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but no, that was not the case. It was in reference to what you was.
Whatever you say, man. Listen, this is a no judgment zone, bro. I don't judge you, bro. He was hitting on you. You wasn't hitting on him.
Nah, that don't make it no doggone, bro. Oh, man. Oh, man. Dang, Jerry.
I'm messing with you, man. Ben Chosen my guy, man.
flats on a Cadillac or something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She gonna head to the gym though. Shoot, I just come on here just holler.
Yeah, go to the gym, fatty.
I'm working on
I'm
it.
in the gym because I'm a fatty. I want to be a hoochie daddy. I made that up right then and there. It's like a freestyle, you know.
Wait for a long time. Coming over, John.
Yeah, man, it just happens, man. It happens. All right. I mean, we got nobody else in the room. Want to come on the stage? What's going on here? I don't know. Did we talk to Princess? Adara? I'm not going to say that right. Marie, you all right?
Shalom, sir. Yes, thank you.
All right, all praises. Shalom, sis.
Shalom, sir. Most High Christ bless leadership and family.
What's up with you? You had a question or a statement? Thoughts on the topic?
I came up because I was asked to come up on by Ralph, but
Ralphie, man.
Then I heard, but then you guys were talking about being bashful, and then I raised my hand and was like, you know what, don't do that. So, I guess what I have on the topic, does Christianity create atheists? Yes. Because the leaders of the churches, the leaders in the congregations, they're hypocrites. So because our people refuse to read the Bible for themselves, the pastor becomes their God. So now they have pastors like Pastor Pam, and so then now they have no choice but to believe in the version of God the pastors gave them. And the members and the leaders look contrary to the Bible. Just like, back in the day with the scribes and the Pharisees, they're stumbling at what we in this truth consider the milk. And that's because, they're not the guys, so they don't have the answers to help our people repent.
You're absolutely right, sis. With Jordan on the phone, Man on the phone, Robert on the phone. Everybody on the phone. Man, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Just like when Christ said that they strain at a gnat, because they don't they don't know how to deal with the weighted matters for the Lord. They strain at the gnat. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got quiet. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on? All right. But yeah, damn, everybody on their phone. Jared, Man, Bill Soldier, Yokanel, Ralph, everybody.
Hey, I don't know if you can hear me. To what the sister said, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Shalom, man.
Hey, shalom. Side grace, bless you, sir.
Yo, shut up.
Yo.
Hey, shalom, y'all.
Uh-oh. Showing up for Apple Day, huh?
Yeah, man. Sometimes I be saying I don't know, but I be knowing the whole time.
You showed up.
Yo.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. What was that you said? Because my son was talking to me. Something going on with him. What was the last thing you said, sir? I'm sorry.
No, you good, bro. Sometimes I say I don't know, but I be knowing the whole time. So when Christians come up here, that's what I'm going to do from now on. Whenever Christians come ask a question, I'm just going to say I don't know. And then force them to have to explain their side. And after they destroy themselves, then I say something. You know, I was talking to the Northern Kingdom brother this morning. He talking about that Judah, not Israel.
Yeah, I heard that.
He said Israel is not Israel?
Yeah. In the scripture that he used to try to justify it, it was bonkers. I mean, I'm starting to think he may have been a little bit off his rocker. He used Deuteronomy 28, and what did he use, 22 and down? It says blasting. He said, yeah, man, they're talking about cannons and gunpowder. I said, nigga, you retarded. That nigga said, I'm retarded. But it's just crazy. So then he still wanted to get a reference to that verse to try to support that the blasting was talking about guns after he just found out it wasn't talking about guns. And then he never went to the reference that he said that he had. He was going to try to use like Andrew Jackson and the cavalry and so forth when they came against Northern Kingdom over here. I'm hip to y'all Northern Kingdom niggas. I mean brothers. You know what I mean? Y'all just niggas too though. Just I'm sure y'all know that. Y'all niggas too. You know. But I knew what he wanted to use. It's just that, you know, sometimes I say I don't know. And I be knowing. You know. Hey, shout out to y'all Northern Kingdom, man. Make sure y'all bow the knee to Big Judah, you know. Make sure y'all do that. And since we talking about it, let me just throw this out there for good measure. Hey, Rita, can you read Psalm 76 and verse 1 real quick?
Psalms chapter 76 and verse 1. And Judah is God known. His name is great in Israel.
The Bible says that Judah is God known. His name is great in Israel. Without Big Judah, you know, y'all still be worshiping the sun. You know, it's going around the fire. I don't care if you say it's racist. I don't care. It's idolatry. You be going worshiping the sun, sacrificing people at the top of Machu Picchu. You know what I mean? Sacrificing people on top of them pyramids, rolling their heads down the steps. Y'all still be doing that if it wasn't for Big Judah. So guess what? You're welcome. Alright? Also read that in Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 1. And I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet for a little bit.
Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 1. Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord, and make mention of the God of Israel.
The Bible says that all the tribes come forth out of the waters of Judah. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, all y'all areas, what did it say on Boys in the Hood? That's right, everybody. All y'all come from the waters of Judah, you know. All that prideful talk, that's what the scriptures talk about though. He's just a perfect example about Ephraim envying Judah. That's all, you know. It's just Ephraim envying Judah. And it's okay. You know, ain't no sweat off of big bro Judah back. You know, y'all just stay behind Judah and we continue to protect you. Now you know Northern Kingdom, if it wasn't for Judah, there would be a lot of other Judites who would just be tearing y'all up as to why y'all not Israel. Y'all do know it's the black Americans that did most of the research to be able to support that y'all Israel, right? You do know that, right? You know. If it wasn't for Judah, you wouldn't even know who he was. And it wasn't for the righteous Judites, the other Judites would be tearing y'all head off right now, talking about how y'all hate Israel. So once again, you're welcome. Last one, what's that? Deuteronomy 33, verse 7. Let's hear that.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient from him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies.
The Bible says that God is going to hear the voice of Judah and bring Judah unto his people, right? Y'all learn from Judah. Everybody. Right? Listen to the smart apple. The apple's speaking. There's a funny PTR, man. I don't know where I be coming across this stuff, man. But it's funny as hell to me. Right? The Bible says, you know, the God's gonna hear the voice of Judah, and Judah's gonna be the one that be brought to his people. You know, I ain't seen no Mexicans going around the country and so forth to start teaching who the Israelites are first. I ain't never seen that. You know, I never seen so-called Mexicans going out the country first to go teach the scattered across the world. I ain't never seen that. You know, I seen Judites do it. You know, I seen Judah do it. I done seen Benjamin do it. I seen Levi do it first. You know, and we do have a lot of mighty Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, to include the mighty Deacon Yahshua. You know, but that movement, that level of understanding coming out, right, to be able to refute Christianity and show who God's true chosen people are. That started with Judah. That was Black Americans right there. You know, so I mean, y'all can hate it. You know, you can't hate me now. You know, but we won't stop now. Take that, no diddy. Take that, no diddy.
Wow.
Hey man, y'all tries, bruh. You know, a lot of y'all tries be getting uppity. You know what I mean? Y'all some uppity Negroes. Ain't that what they say? Y'all getting a little uppity. Well, you want to try to come against Judy, you know. Now that really is Bible, you know what I mean, about the envy. That's true. You know what I mean? If you have hatred toward Judah, guess what? You ain't gonna enter the kingdom of heaven. It ain't gonna happen because you hate your brothers. You know. So I mean, y'all, if you in that Northern Kingdom only camp, which is ridiculous to me, but if you're in it, you know, first off, I think you're a little slow if you believe that, right? But number two, if you're in it, you better come out of it because it's dumb. All right, I gotta take a call.
Lord. That's right. Hey, Andy. Shalom, Jew. What's on Christ Pussy? How you doing, man?
Shalom, Andy.
So, sorry, good.
Good to see you, man.
Yo, you back? What the?
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Andy back in May. You know what I'm saying? Glad to see you, Jew.
Ezzy, I thought you fell off. No, sir. I'm here.
But you deal with the ghost, man. Hey, listen. The Lord blessed you with such a austere voice, man. You got to utilize that thing, bro.
Yes, sir.
Got to rattle some of these headphones and phone speakers.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, wait. So low, you're back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, wait.
All praise to the Lord. You.
Yeah, I think I'm going to retire this photo. You got it.
It's like you want me to be mean. Like I be trying to be nice. I be trying to keep my mic muted.
I'm trying to put it. I'm trying to have a moment here. Okay.
Well, don't include me in it because I'm just yeah.
Listen. I think it's time to retire this photo. Put it in the Museum Hall of Fame.
The photo. You gonna get rid of the doctor, man?
Yeah, man. The doctor gotta go, man. You know. He got his PhD in scriptural understanding, and I think his job is done right now.
You got your doctorate in scriptural understanding?
Yeah, man, and it's been beautiful, you know, prescribing these people with the medicine, and yeah, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, y'all say goodbye to Dr. Ralph.
we will, until we meet again. Thank you.
Well, what just happened? It sounded like a very emotional moment just now. What happened?
You're welcome.
Sound like you said till we meet again. You know, I kind of, just by you saying that, it just made a tear come to my eye. Who left? Was it Uzziah?
I hope no. Unfortunately, no. He's still here.
Been chosen?
No.
Because you're talking right now. Has he?
No, he's
all right. How about Yochanan?
No, he's still here.
Ben Eliah?
Nah, I don't know.
Shownuff was up here. Oh, you were saying that. Oh, okay, you're saying that about Shownuff.
No. I'm just saying about Dr. Ralph. Dr. Ralph has officially retired too.
Oh.
He's going to the UTL Hall of Fame.
Hey,
who inducted him?
You're welcome.
Who inducted this Dr. Ralph into the UTL Hall of Fame? Did it?
I just told you.
Oh, you nominated him?
No. You're welcome.
Hey, yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, check it out. He said that this guy, he has a doctorate in scriptural understanding. I'm still trying to finish my associates. I got a doctorate. Damn.
Hey, yo. Hey, Ralph. Oh, you talking about you, Ralph? Oh, you talking about that, Ralph? Oh. You?
Yes. I got a PhD.
The picture?
Yes, I got a PhD in scriptural understanding. Yes.
Whoa, that's pretty high accomplishment right there.
Yeah. Went to law school.
How long you been?
8 years. It's been great. Law school, man. I learned that.
Law school? What the hell going on here? You said law school doctorate.
Yeah, law school. You know, you got the book of Genesis, Exodus.
No. You finished all that coursework.
Yeah, all the laws. Yeah. So, you know, y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, somebody said Dr. Wild will be remembered.
Wow. This is a pretty amazing conversation. This is very amazing.
I'm sorry. Hey, listen. There wasn't nobody up here, so I wanted to keep the stage flowing. So, my bad. Y'all go ahead with y'all.
What? Hold on. No, don't go nowhere, Ralph. Don't leave. It's about to get emotional again up here.
Please leave.
Hey, because I don't want you to leave me. Hey, Ralph, come back real quick. It's an order. Now I'm going to mute. Shalom.
Okay, all right. Well, let's continue.
Hey, so what's going on today? What's the topic today on here, Ralph? Can we go over it?
Yeah. So the topic is, does Christianity create atheists?
Well, Ralph, do you think that's the case?
Well, on the files here, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, I have a difference of opinion. Uh-oh. Are you curious?
Yes. Take it easy on them.
All right, I'm about to give it to you. No, it's not gonna go long. I'm just gonna make a statement. I think everyone in Christianity is atheist.
Damn. What's the bomb?
A little bit different.
I think
Say it again?
I think?
What's up?
Everyone in the Christian church has been misinformed.
Oh, that's the counter argument. Okay. That's pretty
are
deep
they
right
really
there.
atheists or they just misinformed?
Oh, shoot. You think, okay, who up here is backing me up and who up here is backing Ralphie up and who has a different opinion? I think Solo and Uzziah would agree that Christianity is correct.
That is a lie.
Christianity is what?
That is a lie, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, you know.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh anyone to scorn. I don't mean to laugh anyone to scorn. I mean, I am doing it, but
I'm Team Joseph.
Yay! Hey, come on. Who has hey, just like we have the Democrats and the Republican, we have room for an independent. Come on up. Come on, independent. Hey, any Christian in here? Any Christian in the building? Any atheist in the building? Come on, bring up your strong reasoning. We're willing to hear you, and we're not being facetious.
Whatever
We're not.
What did that mean, by the way? I heard
That means we're not being fake and keeping
okay.
You know, I'm not being fake what I say.
Okay.
Because this is our real position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on up. Come on, y'all. Stop playing games. Yeah, see, we got someone. No slime. What's going on, no slime? What's happening? If you have an issue with your mic, just Ralphie, you got it from here. Mute, unmute, that kind of thing.
Yes, sir. You just hit the bottom right hand corner.
You may have to leave and all that and come back and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because no slime. What's up, man? You there? You might have to reset it.
You said no slime, like Slimer from Ghostbusters?
Yeah. Hey, Shona, we're glad you came back. We putting out a poll to get people to come up to take a side or come up with their own side. And here's what we said. I made a statement, a very aggressive statement that said that I disagree with Ralphie, and I think that all people in Christianity are atheists. And Ralphie's position is that in Christianity they're just misinformed. So I opened up the platform for anyone that wants to join Team Yosef or Team Ralphie.
I propose
up.
Wait. Hold on, Ralph. I propose to add something else to the ballot.
Oh, thank you. Independence. Come on, let's.
All right. Christians are retarded.
Whoa. Hey, how could you get any worse? I don't understand. Hey, look, we got another one on the ballot.
Radical.
Yeah, that's a radical. He's a far left.
Right. Wait, Yosef.
Yeah.
You forget the best part of what I said.
What'd you say?
The Christians are they misinformed? Or are they really atheists, or are they misinformed, my brother?
Oh, my brother part? Because I thought I said.
Are they really atheists, or are they just misinformed, my brother?
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yo, what's happening? Where are we right now?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I just didn't say it cool enough for Ralphie. I'm sorry, Ralph. I didn't represent your team correctly. All right, we got some votes. We got Team Show Enough. He got a few votes. We got Team Yosef with 1 or 2 votes. All right. Ralphie, come on. We got put in the chat. So I was the first one on the ballot. Let's do numbers. For Yosef, put 1. Oh, no, we got to put... No, stop. Don't put 1. For Show Enough, put 1. Put Joseph, put 2, since I'm in the middle now. Ralphie put 3. And if you have something independent, please post that in the chat. Alright? Come on, let's drop it. 1, 2, and 3. 1 is Show Enough, 2 is Joseph, 3 is Ralph. I'm not gonna get any votes. I'm what you call it, libertarian right now. I'm in the middle somewhere. Damn. Hey, I'm about to leave team 2 to get to team 1, man. That's messed up. Hey, so nobody you gonna come in here and steal my shine, man? Damn.
Oh man.
I'm about to vote for team 1. Damn it.
Wait. Are you not seeing it? I'm winning.
Oh wow. And those that vote for Ralphie, we're watching you.
The ones that say 3 are Christians, though.
Oh man, hey, if anyone want to come up and debate your cause, please come on up.
Yeah, come on up.
And you can't retract your vote. If you retract your vote, we're coming for you too. All right, we know you took your vote back. All right. Okay. And I'm just curious to see if I got at least 1 vote. Oh, look at that! I got 1. Oh, I got 2 votes. Oh, that's I appreciate y'all, my sisters. Hey, thank you. I appreciate y'all. But I'm leaving the party. I'm sorry. I'm going to team 1.
Oh dang.
Yeah, if you tired of the people that put, your vote on the ballot, being all up in your videos, come on over to team 1.
Counter number 3. Okay. Alright, so let's see, I'm gonna invite some people.
I tried. You gotta see. You gotta do like how I usually. You have to call people out that you're bringing up, like Jaleesa, for example. She need to come up here. I don't know why she's playing games. David, Ed, Yacht Shack, Mo, Hope, all them down there.
Yeah, I invited Justify yourself on the stage. I invited Prince, Chris, Hope, I'm not serious.
Or maybe we could do it like this, because some people, they get a little stage fright, So first off, one thing I want to put out there, I don't really believe every Christian is retarded. It's a joke, y'all. Don't be scared. You know what I mean? I'm joking when I say all Christians are retarded. Now, some Christians are retarded. Yes, some Christians are retarded. Right? Some people are just misinformed, and some are actually atheists. They just there because their family members go. They don't really believe. I 100% believe that. I'm not saying every single Christian is retarded. Now, we do got some new people at the bottom, and this is what I'll put out there, right? Let's say that you're not comfortable coming on stage, that you're somewhat scared or you're just uncomfortable, and you heard us say some things that you don't agree with, right? You can feel free to put it in the chat. Like if it's a topic of discussion that you think that we explain wrong or we got the wrong stance on, we'll put it in the chat and we'll get the ball rolling for you. And then you can come up. How about that? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, though, enough. That picture. I don't know if I believe an apple. Set me up, bro. Shoot, bro. That joint, I don't know where you found that joint at, but that joint is perfect.
Presentable, man. Look at their shoes.
Yeah, them shoes are legendary.
Look at the shoes, man. The shoes are very welcoming, man. You know what I'm saying? The shoes on point. So y'all can feel free to go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, he's standing like somebody that's you.
Right.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get them ties up out you. Why did you have your picture up? What happened?
So it was him, but I guess he found the magic recipe in order for this image to be created. It was done through AI.
Oh,
AI.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he probably came across the same post that I came across. Created the image.
Yeah. Okay. You be picking that you out, man.
He probably was messing with me, but I didn't have the opportunity to say anything. I was gonna say something though.
Yeah, man. So I think it's Jalisa. She seems like she's new to the room. I did send you out the invite, sis. I got just a question in general. Just a sidebar from the topic. Does Christianity create atheists? Would you classify yourself as a Christian? Cause what I do.
The U.S. keeps growing, but the reality is, and then a lot of the wealth that was being generated was actually going more disproportionately to some of the immigrants compared to old stock Canadians. I'm an immigrant. I'm not an old stock Canadian. Yeah, so basically old stock Canadians have been getting poorer. Everybody's been getting poorer pretty much, but it's just, people aren't having kids and they just thought they could. I don't know what they were thinking exactly. It was kind of a half-baked idea based on ideology rather than real economic calculation that was good for Canadians. So actually, they've now, even the Liberals who enacted these policies and were all in on it for various ideological reasons, they put a moratorium on immigration, more or less. So that tells you a lot how disastrous.
We won't have to worry about that when it becomes a 51st state. Thank you, a double. Jewel.
Hey Gary, how you doing? I get a kick out of listening to people talk about deficits, leftist people talking about deficits. I mean, people on the right also are criminal when it comes to that, but the leftists, they make me laugh. I want to first answer your question and then tell you something about the Build Back Better, whatever. Big beautiful deal, okay? Well, I'm going to answer your question about the midterms will be
That's funny because really there used to be another BBB and it was Build Back Better, and so it's confusing to some. And this really should be referred to not by the moniker that was plastered on it by the president, but as what it really is, and that's a massive spending bill. That's exactly what.
I'll tell you how to explain it soon. Getting to it. I'll just tell you why. Let me answer your question first, because I know you get so upset you probably won't sleep at night if I don't answer your question. But I think the midterms will be defined by inflation, unemployment, the value of the stock market, and crime and global wars. So I don't think this has really a lot to do with the midterms, okay? The people,